What's up, everybody? Welcome. You guys are early, and I appreciate that. It seems to be a little bit of a very slowish type of Friday. I mean, granted, the season is slow. Obviously, with all these strikes going on in the world, everything seems to be in a very bit still. Everything is a very much a bit still. Everything's slowed down. I feel like we're kind of, if anything, I feel like we're in like the calm before the storm, but it's all good. The show must go on. And I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to party. I'm ready to enjoy the next 2 to 2.5 hours with you all. The guys aren't here yet, so it's gonna be me, you, and the chat. There's already 10 of you here, which is awesome. So we're gonna have some fun for the next 10 minutes. So how you doing, Vince Womack? Grim, what's going on? Critzable the Rainbow Knight. D Bud Martin, what's up, guys? So I guess before the other guys get in here, I'll give you guys some updates. So I know for the guys on Gilded who are Dolph Lundgren members, you saw the stickers last week. The order tomorrow or Monday will be placed for the bottle openers. That will be placed Monday, and then after the bottle openers get placed, I have 2 of the 6 Dolph Lundgren members have their personalized one item each lined up, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do for the other 4 Dolph Lundgren members as far as what items to pick up for them. So it's gonna be fun, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Could be a box of cereal, could be a comic. I don't know. Could be an album. I don't freaking know. But you know what? All I know is it's gonna be personalized, and of course, I'm gonna probably get the hammer out the letters. And yeah, hopefully early as soon as those bottle openers come in, boom, I'm gonna ship that stuff out. I know I got 2 addresses of the 6, so I look forward to getting the other 4 addresses for those who are interested in their own, Dolph Lundgren package. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren package. Holy shit! Hold up. It's gonna be fun. And I'm glad I can do this for you guys. So that the pleasure is all mine to do that. And what's up, Chernobyl? Says he's wearing the same shirt as me. What's up, man? Oh, 5 picoseconds. What's going on? Gonzalo Bergali. Hello, Pinochet's helicopter tours. If it's Dolph, it's Dolph, dude. I mean, I know this is not Toxic Tuesday and all, but I guess sometimes you just gotta play the clip still.
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
That's just how it is. So, anyways, for you guys, in case you didn't see it, I would recommend, especially when you can, especially for those who are interested and invested. Me and Mr. MVP Max Von Priestley did a video Wednesday night. We talked over drinks and we talked about Big Game number 4 that came out this week, which is the second to last issue of Mark Miller's big giant Miller World crossover. We did a review of that, and we put out the video yesterday morning on my channel. The first 10-12 minutes is completely spoiler-free, completely. So if you're one of those people who doesn't want the spoilers, you can watch that first chunk of it as is. But the next 20 minutes is such a fun, free-flowing conversation between 2 guys who just love talking comics, really. It was such a fun conversation. Shout out to Max. What a guy. I feel like I've been very lucky. I had Wakizashi's Tea House for issue 2. I had Mr. Eric O'Sullivan, Sully, for issue number 3, and I got MVP for number 4. I'm like, man, I feel like, for the conclusion issue, I gotta like do something like huge. Like, maybe should I like, and this is hypothetically speaking. This is what when a man can dream. I'm like, does a Nick Weiser try to get a guy like maybe Wes from Thinking Critical to maybe do the conclusion issue? I mean, those kind of seem to line up. Conclusion issue, Wes Thinking Critical. Just saying. I think that'd be fun, and I have been wanting to, talk to Wes for some time. We've had very few brief exchanges. Some acknowledging super chats, a few messages, but I feel like this would be a really good way to break the ice. And I would like to definitely get to know the Thinking Critical crowd. That's a really great crowd, really knowledgeable, really passionate comics. And, who knows, maybe some of those faces can come hang out here. Wes won't be able to because of the time zone. But if we could shoot a video on Big Game number 5, that'd be fun. So, guys, fingers motherfucking cross. And we got the Ironcaster here. What's up, Ironcaster?
Hey.
How you doing, man?
It has been a long week, and I'm so happy for Friday.
That's what I like to hear. See, I like that. I was saying the first 5 minutes. I know it feels like it's a little bit of like a slower Friday than usual. I was saying it's calm. It almost feels like a calm before the storm type of Friday. It feels like a bit mellower, but that's just because of the environment around us is mellow doesn't mean we can't enjoy ourselves tonight. And that's what we're here to do. That's why we're here to talk about probably the greatest medium of reading, if not of consumption ever, and just have a few drinks as well. So, yeah, dude, big game. I was just saying that how me and Mr. MVP did a video on big game number 4. We had a blast doing that video, and I always like, man, all right, this video is gonna be shorter, and then they end up being longer videos. But then I look at like the engagement on the video. I'm like, okay, the engagement's pretty good because if I'm like putting out a 32-minute video and I see it's at nearly 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, it's worth doing this. If I were to put out a 32-minute video and the engagement was like 2-3 minutes, well then yeah, I gotta really rethink myself. So I'm like, okay, there's something here. Maybe this long format isn't so bad. People are actually tuning in, and that's shocking because I was always kind of hesitant on doing those type of videos. I thought, man, wouldn't people get fucking bored? But I guess people like them, man.
I do think people do want to see videos going into certain topics because then it sort of becomes in a way its own little kind of evergreen bit of content where like, yeah, people want you to sit down and review stuff. Like people would absolutely probably freaking love it if we sat down and talked about like just because I got this Vampire Hunter D. Which, by the way, fucking awesome.
Okay. Good to know. No, you're definitely got to talk about that on the show. And what's up, Klobby?
Hey, buddies. Sorry I'm late.
It's all good, man. I'm just happy that you're here. What's new in your world?
Oh, not a lot of. Just glad to be here hanging with you guys, I guess.
I like it.
New? I don't know. Just us? Or we got some...
Pablo, Pablo will be here, and Pablo's here.
Oh,
I haven't heard from Common Nerd, which is very odd because he's usually like the first one here. So I hope he's okay. Maybe he overslept or something. Yeah, he's always, him. He's always like the first one here. So yeah, Common Nerd, if you're out there, man, I just hope you're okay.
Hope
you
you're
can't even do buddy. Show tonight because he's never not done a show either. Not only is he here, but he's done every show since he's been with us too. So yeah, hope everything's okay, man. And what's up, Massgrave and Anano Moss? Good to see you gentlemen here. Yes. We got a very classy crew of gentlemen. Jack Tar Lad. Oh shit. What's up, Jack Tar Lad? Nice to see you here as well. So yeah, I was mentioning I was thinking we should discuss. I mean, especially once Pablo gets there, at the very minimum, and even though Common could be here as well, we should definitely talk about maybe a few monster books we could talk about for next week. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just saying we can't just gloss this over with Halloween.
Well, last
that
time
would
we
just
had
be
fun.
Insane. Oh, dude, last time was a blast. That was oddly, I remember thinking to myself, wow, how is the audience going to respond to this show? And that was one of our best received comic shop shows ever. I remember that one. People were really happy about doing that one. Obviously, it was a little bit of a 'tis the season with a little bit of talking those type of monster comics, and of course there was a lot of phenomenal issues, especially the Tomb of Dracula, might I add. So yeah, let's see. Let's definitely once we get more of the guys here, I definitely want to. I think next week we have to.
Didn't we do it all month last year? Last year, didn't we do it all month or something?
Oh, I think we just did 1 week. Christmas is what we did, like a monthly thing. We did a comic one. We did a video media one, like on episodes. Christmas is where we kind of delved a little bit deeper.
Because I remember we reviewed some Tomb of Dracula. We reviewed some Marvel team ups that had Marvel monsters in them. If you remember,
Frankenstein was in one. I think it's Spidey and Frankenstein. We did.
Werewolf by Night, I think we covered.
Yeah, we did Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night, right? That's correct. So I mean, we couldn't have done that all in one night.
Yeah, we did. We had Wakizashi. He was a guest with us for that show. I remember now. It's all coming back now.
I am
all
gonna have to
coming
go
back.
update the. I'm gonna have to go update like the Word document I've started putting together for like all the books we covered. Just the because like we're starting to forget. Like,
Yeah, that's
but
a
then
good
again,
idea.
like, but then again, that's kind of a good thing though, where we can sit and you're like, man, I don't remember Tomb of Dracula. Let's go read it.
I could suggest some off the wall wacky ones that are like both Marvel connected, a Marvel, well, some of the Marvel Master, excuse me, Marvel comics that have monsters in them, like we did before. Some ones we haven't done yet, maybe. I mean,
I would love to hear it, man. I like I said, I next week we have to talk monsters, like 3 or 4 comics. We gotta get a little spooky. Just
how
saying.
about, for example, one of them? You can just throw it out there, maybe. Tomb of Dracula,
man.
Tomb of Dracula number 50, which pits Dracula and the Silver Surfer. I just thought it'd be off the wall, weird one to do. I mean, I think I even talked about it on my show before. Yeah, mind blowing, isn't it? There he is. Well, that Dracula's in the Marvel universe.
I don't see how the answer is no to that in any way. I don't think let's just pretend that there was a multiverse. I don't see a multiverse where any one of those I say, man, I'm not so sure about that. I don't see that, dude. Chat, if there's any objections, I want to hear about it. I'm just saying that just sounds like a freaking awesome comic.
It's pretty cool. It's like maybe not as much as you think. Just the fact that that he meets Silver Surfer's enough for me. I mean, I read it. It's cool. I mean, it's different. It's not like it wasn't like I'm not gonna say anything. It's just kind of interesting. It's cool to read. It's a fun oddity. Remember that those monsters were integrated into the Marvel universe. Now Dracula didn't mess around with superheroes as much, but he did sometimes. I mean, he met Spidey in one of those giant-sized Spider-Man issues, and a couple of, in other words, or no, he was in one of those. They didn't actually meet, I think, but the other ones, as we know, like Werewolf by Night and Frankenstein's monster, and a couple of them did, mess around with Spider-Man and the Thing and stuff, the Living Mummy,
So I've got 2 books I was thinking of.
That might be worth shoot it, man.
First, I think it's probably one of the more obvious characters to look at, especially this time of year, is Vampirella.
Well, yeah.
I
look at her all year round personally. But
Chloe's like that's an easy, but okay. I think we had 2 books so far. I don't think there could possibly be any objections. Chat, if you have any objections, you let me know. But I think right now we're on to 2 books that sound freaking awesome. And what's up, RSQ001 and my guy Claude Parrish? Nice to see you both here. But okay, so now what would it be? A Vampirella would be like the first issue, volume 1. What's the deal with Vampirella?
I mean, I'd say we should probably just go straight to the origin. Like, let's see where she comes from the planet of Draculon, because you got to remember she is an alien too.
Oh, is she? Okay, I've actually never read Vampirella, so this is actually that's super normie territory for yours truly.
That's true. By the way, Claude said Dracula also crossed over with Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah. Oh, that sounds fun too.
So the other character I thought felt thematic for the time of year, Damon Hellstrom, the son of Satan.
Son of Satan. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He teamed up with Spider-Man and the Thing.
Ooh.
I think he was in her team up. I know he was in the Marvel 2-in-1 for sure.
Of those 2, I think I'm more curious about the team up with the Thing.
Let me. I'll find that. I'll drag it.
Yeah, let's find out what that one is. Because don't get me wrong, I may be a bigger Spider-Man fan, but there's something about the Thing I feel like that would make for a more interesting dynamic. There's something about that's just like, ooh, okay.
I just got to find the issue number.
Yeah. No. By all means, take your time, man. I'm happy to hear that. What's up, Po Baby 74? I'm just like, okay, you guys got my attention.
By the way, it's not necessarily necessary that we do it with these characters. I just think it's fun that an issue that's such an oddity, like it's the monster, but they're in the Marvel universe with the Marvel characters.
Oh,
that's
kind of the
fun of it. This kind of fun.
The crossover. Oh yeah. Dude, come on. I'm always a sucker for a good crossover, especially with stuff like that.
So Claude Parrish in the chat has a really good comment here for you about Vampirella.
Let's see here. This is what he's talking. There was no water on Draculon. The rivers were blood. Is that an arc or a story?
No, that's
What's the
just
deal
like
here?
uh the water on the planet of Draculon. It's all blood. So
Okay.
she comes to Earth, and it's like the water she needs to drink is in your veins.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. What's up, Phantom Outsider? On Vanperl's homeworld, Draculon, they have rivers of blood, which was like water to him. Man, you guys are making me feel outclassed here, but that's good. I want to get schooled on this. I'm not many people volunteer to get schooled. I'm volunteering right now to get schooled. This is a good question. Would Dracula be able to bite Mr. Fantastic? Oh,
What
I
if he's
love hearing
asleep?
that.
Don't know.
Howdy ho!
Yo.
Hello, sir.
I was too soon.
No,
Perfect.
dude. I'm glad you went straight for it. You just did that. That's what I like to hear. Pablo, how
Found
you
it.
doing, man?
Whew, it has been a crazy week, but I have been keeping on nerding, so I'm playing more Magic the Gathering.
Why,
Okay.
why are you doing this to yourself?
Because
They hate you.
I know. This is the story. My best friend came to Ecuador to get divorced, right? And he decided that we will go and do something with my other friends. So there's a store here in Ecuador that is called El Baúl del Enano, the dwarf's coffer, something like that. And it's just old school Magic. They are playing Commander EDH, so I can use my old cards and everything. And I'm like, okay, I will go. I will drink a beer. I have been going for 3 weeks straight and just playing Magic and actually socializing because I have been an hermit for too long.
Yeah.
or-
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
yeah, but the fun part is all the old stuff that I have kind of breaks the game. So I have a combo where I can have five. How do you say it in English? God damn it, I forgot the term. Well, I can play 5 times in a row and just keep going, and I reset my turn every single time.
Oh, you make an endless loop for yourself.
Yeah, so it's basically stupid. I have things broken that I make a damage to you, I draw a card. Because I draw a card, I make a damage to you. Because I make a damage to you, I draw a card. So basically, it's a machine gun that I kill somebody with that.
Are you talking Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood? That combo?
No, Need Me Set and Curiosity.
Oh. Oh yeah.
It's the most nerd combo because both cards have formulas and shit on the flavor. But anyway, I have been playing that, and you know what? Even if Wizards of the Coast die, and I hope they die because they are doing Doctor Who decks, and the Doctor Who decks are for the Jodie Whittaker Doctor. So
well, I mean, there's a deck. There's a couple decks for like the classic Doctors. There's a deck for I think
yeah.
the
There's one for
pre-quality
Tom Baker.
Doctors. Yep.
Yeah, there's one for Tom Baker that I'm tempted to spend my money on, but I want Wizards of the Coast to go bankrupt, so my cards go for $1 million and I get a house just selling one.
Oh no, that's not going to happen. Like they've reprinted those things into the ground. I saw Liliana.
If they go belly up, there won't be any more reprints.
Oh, that's true. Like so, Liliana the Veil might actually become worth something again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude, that makes me cry. That card used to sell for 125. It's down to like $13.
I saw one that I got for $200 on cards, and is $20 or something like that.
What's up, Scott? Long time no see, homie. How you been, man? Hopefully you and your family are good. Go ahead, continue, guys. I had to acknowledge Scott. I've hung out with Scott in the flesh.
Oh,
gotta acknowledge my guy.
Sporting news. I remember when Gary was talking about the sporting news. Gary was 20K at the most, something like that.
Fucking
yeah,
crazy,
I'm talking.
man.
2K was Last Jedi era, so I'm talking
remember those
a
days.
bit after that. Yeah, when he exploded, and that's how I got to sporting and into Culture Casino, and goddamn, the the Fellowship has grown and has become really interesting, man.
Oh
Yeah, there's
yeah,
been
it
some
has,
crazy
man.
changes.
It's peaks and valleys. It is peaks and valleys, and then some. Sporky say found Gary at 5K. I found Gary at around, I think it was around 150K, which him when I discovered him or Ripa not far from each other, they were kind of like in line with their sub numbers at the time. So I do remember that very well. Like they were definitely pretty close to each other, like neck and neck with their sub numbers. So those were around that mark because Ripa was 2019 for me. I'd say like around, I'd say probably a few months after the Captain Marvel movie came out. I had seen like his videos on it, and it was like it was almost like foreign language to me because no one in my life at that time was saying the things that he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, whoa, look at this whole other perspective. It blew my mind because it almost like, especially when you like live in like Chicago, dude. I've said many times on Counts of Vision Swing how big cities are echo chambers, and I'm not even joking. As funny as it is, but echo chambers run so deep in big cities. You don't even notice other ways of life even exist. It's not even like it's frowned upon. It's more of like it's not even like a thought. It's crazy. And yeah, hearing that was just like whoa. So, anyways, you guys were on a great tangent, and well, we got into reminiscing about Gary.
Yep.
Did you see where they're doing the Fallout set next for the Commander crossovers?
No.
Yes, we're getting Fallout and Magic.
Okay, there's something in Magic. You basically could go anywhere, and if you say that the Doctor can be a planeswalker, I will believe you because the Doctor has actually planeswalk, technically speaking. He has crossed between different dimensions. That's planeswalking. But I don't know, man. They are mixing too much. The Lord of the Rings. I have some of the cards. Are really good. The cards are good. They are Aragorn. I have an Aragorn. Is Aragorn the Black? They just raise up the hell out of Aragorn. He is absolutely black, and there's no mistaking even in the foil. If you watch the foil for Saruman, looked like Saruman may be black. No, in Aragorn they went straight up. He's black. That's it. There's a lot of elves that also change to black. There's a couple of Asian cards that whatever are minor characters, so you don't care really. And it's just weird because the cards are good. I like playing them. The art is bullshit, and I hate them for that. And it's a difficult interaction.
Well, I mean, the thing is, WotC is at a point now where they have to change. They're at the adapt or die stage right now because look back to January, the whole OGL debacle like completely fucked them over. You have them reprinting sets to death to the point where Wizards of the Coast was having to like dump unsold product into landfills just to basically help kind of just to help lower down the numbers. And then you look at the card games landscape now. Like you have so many games that are seem to be taken off. One Piece has a card game. Pokemon, of course. Magic the Gathering. Disney's Lorcana is insanely popular from everything I can tell.
One Piece is cheap. It's really cheap.
Is it now?
Here in Ecuador, you can get a starter deck for $15 or so. So it's actually really cheap to get in. The issue is that you will have to buy boosters, and that's how they get your house and your kidney and your firstborn son. But yeah, that's playing any board game that you need expansions. But
so,
yeah,
so I decided I was going to go ahead and pick up Radiant Journey Through the Radiant Citadel, the racially diverse planescape book from Dungeons and Dragons, just so I can kind of go skim through it and kind of go give like the whole like, give it kind of a bit of a fair assessment review, just so I can see like, is this really as bad as like it was kind of when it was blowing up in the news like 18 months ago? Because apparently I hate myself.
Wait,
It's like
God.
you hear like, oh, Batwoman's bad. How bad is it?
Jeez.
dude, Nerdrotic was a really crazy ride. That's what I will say. At one point, he went 2K to 5K almost in a couple of months, and then he just went straight up.
It's so crazy how like every story is so uniquely different. I remember hearing from Razor Fist. He said that it took him years to get to 1K. You look at him and you think, how's that possible? But that's what he says. That it took him years. Like, can you imagine that? Like a guy like that, and he's saying it took him several years to get to 1K. He's at like 360 something K now. Like, that's such a wild thought to comprehend.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, it took me forever. And I'm still have nothing. But I've been here a while, over 3 years.
Yeah, no, hey, Claudia, we're just grinding it out, man.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
Guys like us. We just grind it out, and we don't really do.
We don't do anything controversial, so we're not.
Yeah,
I must be honest.
no, and that's true. But I think that still works to our advantage because we can still pull up people for streams of videos, and it just shows you there's a loyalty there. I think that's what makes it cooler. Consider that it is the non-trendy version, and you and I we're like Motorhead. Like we grind it out, and we're like, yeah, we're not thinking about where everyone else is going. We're gonna go this route. We like this route. This is our little path we made here. We got our lane, and our lane's really, really.
Mine's very niche. I mean, look, everybody else is doing the news and doing it well.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of people. I watch a lot of those channels, so I go to those channels for those things. It's great.
If I wanted to do that stuff, I would do it. I just have no interest. I mean, watching it's fine, but look at my boy Valiant Renegade. He started way after me. He just hit 50K.
Yeah.
Do I know how? I don't know.
How it happens.
And he reports on the financial side of things, and people like that. I go, yeah.
Well, it makes sense because not everyone can speak on that type of topic with confidence.
He knows the stuff.
Yes, exactly. So it makes sense. He does that type of thing, so it gives him that little corner to stand out and talk about that aspect. All right. What's up, Emperor's NM, BAA Turner, and Keely Chow, and we got a $2 super chat from Dearest. What's up, Dearest? Says sex here, Vampirella or Matilda, May, and Life Force. This is your guys' dog. I got no dog in this fight.
Morrigan.
$2.
I'm gonna go Vampirella.
Morrigan. It's basically Vampirella, but in anime and with Huger tits.
Oh, dude,
Capcom.
you're throwing the curveball with Morgan.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Claudia sounds conflicted.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Vampirella. She was a part of that part of my childhood where when I would sneak around, when I would go look at the comics on the drugstore rack when my mom was shopping, I could, I couldn't buy it, but I could sure go flip through it and look at the covers, the Warren magazines, No way she was going to buy it for me. I wouldn't even ask, at that time. I sure got to look at it. And we've seen Matilda's extraordinary, but we've seen Matilda like once in a movie. Vampies.
She's a legend.
A legend. There you go.
Well, consider the fun part is since she's a vampire, you cannot even say she has became old body wise. She has aged because she stays the same. We can still be talking about Vampirella 200 years in the future, and it's like, yeah, she's still hot. Yep. There you go.
I like this comment here from Phantom Outside. I said he has a huge advantage that if he had an action figure, I would straight up buy that action figure. No questions. I don't care if it costs extra money because, it's more of a limited supply. I would straight up, I'd buy that figure.
It'd be a little bobble chair.
He's got to make sure that figure, he has to have the bullet belt. He's got to have the bullet belt. He's got the bullet belt. He's got to have the gloves. And if you could take the aviators off, the Cobra aviators, so you can
There's
see
another
where
pair of aviators under them.
There's another. No, he's got definitely. You got to have the extra aviators. So yeah, I would buy that figure. It came with the chair too. It spin and you like push that and like every time you spin the figure, it does the quotes. Yeah. I remember when I first saw the first video where he did that spin the chair. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was just like, wow. I feel that energy. If anyone else did that, that would be absolutely ridiculous. But it's so funny from him. I think it was one of the Star Wars videos when he used to cover Star Wars more frequently, because he's one of those guys that even though he does talk controversial things, he also talks a lot of different things, which is something a lot of people advise to not do. But he went and did it anyways. And to be fair, that may have been why it took him several years to get to 1K, because he covers a bevy of things. Like he'll go like 5 straight videos where he's talking politics, but then he'll have times where he's talking comic books for several videos, and they'll go through phases where he's doing all those Metal Mythos videos, and then a lot of times where he's talking movies like his Rageaholic Cinema, and then of course he's got his gaming streams as well. So yeah, I guess in his own in his regard, he kind of went off in his own little unique path as well too, because he didn't always, and he does have a lot of evergreen content too. He actually has a lot of positive videos that don't get as much like discussion as they should, because he does talk about a lot of things that he likes as well. He does like quite a bit of it. Like might I like he brought a lot of people to pay attention to The Shadow. Obviously, he got obviously all the love of 80s action movies like
Save Deadly Shadows,
The Depths of DS9.
Yeah, he's a big DS9 fan. Yeah, that he has his whole DS9 thing he does too with his buddy Taran Gell, his editor. So yeah, no, he has quite a bit of positive content. Like it just doesn't get as much discussion, but yeah, he covers it a lot. When he goes into his TMNT stuff, his Westman stuff. Yeah. It's and it's cool. I love watching those videos because you really see his heart pour out for those things that he's really into. He's obviously when he's into something, he's really passionate about it. He's really, really a fan.
Like, I mean, BattleTech.
Oh yeah, BattleTech 2. That's another one.
You know what's like? This is really, really sad. I just thought about this. I will never get a crossover Alpha Magazine and Razor Fist. If you are old school YouTube, Alpha Magazine was a wrestling, video games, and metal YouTuber that was really, really good.
Oh yeah, he's done a few wrestling videos too. I forgot that he has done not many of them, but he has done them. He has done them.
But he was really passionate about some subjects on metal that I think will make a really interesting conversation with Razor Fist. So, yeah, that crossover will never happen.
I would like to definitely. I don't know if we'd ever give on a comic shop talk, but if I were able to like convince him if we could do like a special noon episode, so he could do his Friday night gaming stream, I'd do that. I would ask him. I think I could. I think I could convince him if I actually just because actually he does follow me on Twitter, believe it or not. So I actually have access to messaging him. So now here comes where are you all this time with not messaging him? I know. But no, I should just ask him. So
well,
I'm sure
I'm on his Discord.
Oh, see, so you and I have direct access to talking to the man.
That's like the place I hang out. I probably hang out the most on the internet is that freaking Discord.
I'd like to definitely when Ghost of the Badlands, I think after it comes out, I would like to talk. I would like to get him and George Alexopoulos on. So I think that would be fun to talk with both of them. I think that would give it insight too. That way, he's like, oh hey, he doesn't want to just talk to it, but he wants the artist too. Because, and I would love to. George seems like a really cool guy as well, and I want to have artists on as well. And yes, folks. I do want to ask Mark Miller as well. So I'm hoping after big game. I try to be very specific to these guys' needs. I would like to talk to Mark, but I want to get him on like post big game. because right now I don't know how the hell that story's gonna end. Like, we're one issue away from it all wrapping up, and I'm just like, what is this man gonna do? I can't even imagine. So, but it's been exciting to read. It's been very exciting, and I can't wait to see it wrap up next month. So, and Pepe Larraz has been killing it. And speaking of other guys who've been killing it, Roberto De La Torre on Conan,
Yeah.
dude, ooh, issue number 4. What next
It's
week?
getting better,
next
right?
week. Issue 4 is next week.
Yeah.
I can't
Issue
wait.
1, he's really old school. Issue 2, he experiments more. Issue 3, he's way more heavy metal.
Oh, dude, his style is pedal to the mount. I feel like he must have said, okay, hey, what should I put on? Oh, that Manowar album looks really good. Oh, hey, maybe I should put on Saxon. Oh, this stuff talks about medieval stuff. This talks about primal stuff. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go for soundtracks that make sense for Conan. And anything that talks about going into battle, Saxon, Manowar, Amon Amarth.
This
And
is
there's
an
a
issue.
lot of action. It's brutal too. I
Yeah,
love the
it's
brutality.
really good.
Love
But
it.
I thought an interesting question. How many issues do you think an artist takes normally to get into the art, to actually take over a comic? Because
It
you have,
depends,
yeah,
man. If it's a guy like Del Torre, which, as far as I know, I don't know if he's doing exclusively the first arc or if he's doing this first arc, take a few issues off, and then coming
I
back.
think
I
it's
do
only
know
6
that they
issues.
got because I do know they got another artist coming in at issue 6. At issue 6, they got another artist coming in.
Yep.
And I looked at the solicits, and he's gonna be on for the next few issues after that as well. So maybe arc to arc it's gonna change. Maybe I don't know, but I remember talking to Dan Johnson back in 2018 or 19, and I remember him telling me it took about a day to do a page, and that was when he was doing formatting for DC Black Label. He said he did a page a day. So he said he had a Monday through Friday schedule, and he would do the all day thing to focus on that page. But then you have some guys who are like monsters, like Kirby, who in his time did 4 freaking pages a day. But then you have guys like Frank Quietly, whom I love, and he takes 800 years. But when this stuff is done, it looks really good. It looks really good. I do like Ryan Otley. He used to be a lot faster, but he slowed down. I remember he said after he had finished Invincible, he said that he doesn't have it in him to be as fast as he once was. But he says that because he did almost like he did the majority of Invincible. And that's a good long run because that book went on for a good while. So yeah, he said he can only do 5 to 6 issues of a book a year now versus the 10 to 11 to 12 that he once did with Invincible. There's some guys, yeah. I've not have many things with his name on it, but I've heard Mobius is very slow as well. But obviously we all know what he can do. I've mentioned him a lot of times on here as well, who's really slow. Travis Charest. He's another guy who could take 800 years. That's probably why he sticks mostly to covers, because they probably had to call him like 6 months in advance for a cover. Yeah, there's a lot of great names who are slow, but the end result's usually worth it. I don't know, Claudia. Who's your favorite guy who's slow? Who are your favorite guys who are very slow, but when you get it, it's worth it?
Oh man, there's so many of them. I
want to hear it, man. Let's chat. Chat. I want the chat. Chat, if you got any names, participate. I want who are some names of people who are great artists who are slow, but the end
Brian
result's worth it.
Would be one.
Oh yeah, Boland. Yeah. Oh, I love Boland.
I mean, he was molasses. He was just could not meet any kind of a schedule whatsoever.
You know what? Dave Stevens. He was not fast.
Blue ribbon champion. He was the slowest
Dave Stevens
ever.
Was so damn slow. But man, his stuff was worth it though. When it came out, oh man. Oh, Dave, yeah, Dave Stevens is definitely another name. Are you familiar with turnaround
Uh,
times for the manga industry and in manga? Go ahead, keep thinking, Klobby, while I answer this
Sure,
question.
sure.
And in manga, is quality of art, story maintained? I mean, from what I've gathered, and obviously Caster and Pablo can answer probably this better. From what I've gathered as a normie, it seems like there's at times, I'm not gonna say always, but at times there's not as much detail a la like a EVS on manga. But to be fair, it's not like they have to either. It's about getting the book out, and it doesn't mean that it's gonna look like crap. It's just, and that, like I said, this is only about the few things I read. It still looks good, but you're not gonna see like a really, really deep dive in detail. And to be fair, from the few things I've read, it doesn't need it either. It's
Well,
still
yeah,
quality. And I'm sure there's stories where I'm sure maybe there is a story out there that does come out less frequently, but when it comes out, it's good. I mean, go ahead, Caster.
I'll just say largely with a lot of the major stuff that's like comes out weekly, we're talking like what 20 pages a week. It's all black and white, so we don't have to deal with the coloring.
Oh, that's
stage.
another
exactly.
thing. No
That's
colors.
a lot
That's
of time.
another thing. The colors, yeah. No colors.
Like if you're lucky with some of those, you might get like basically a splash cover just as like a one-off of everything in color, and then that's just about it for all the coloring. But still, it's largely just all black and white. So they have like 7 days to get all 20 pages put together.
Yeah, but also
The big ones oftentimes will have assistants to help with some of the work. So it's so you're not looking at typically like a one-man job for the bigger stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the majority of them I'd say probably are all just like one man jobs.
Well, also it depends a lot on the company, because there's companies like Suecia or like Shonen Jump that are really really strict on deadlines, and they have a system to actually rate the mangas that are coming each week to determine which is going out, because they have a heavy rotation of material. So there you will have to be really really strict on, I need to have this every week, unless you are Oda has a special permission because he's Oda and he has 1 week off after 3 issues. So every 3 issues he just naps.
I mean, yeah, the guy the guy is able to sell 37 million books in a year.
Yeah, treating him special is kind of obvious at this point. Yeah. Other than that, if you are just really good and people don't really give a shit about the magazine that you are being printed on, you can be like Hunter x Hunter. Yoshiro Tagasashi is basically, yeah, I will take the next 10 years as a hiatus because fuck you.
So you'll get one chapter.
Yeah, you get one chapter and it's amazing, and then 5 years later it's like, yeah, I don't feel like keep going for another year or so, and you're like, god damn, just keep.
Well, I think that's largely because like he didn't really originally intend to go be a mangaka. And that wasn't like originally his sort of life's ambition. He just sort of fell into it.
And then you have other thing that in Japan is like 70% of the people working on manga, or at least the mangakas that are prolific, are women. And there's a lot of situations where they get pregnant, and this happened with how was the name of this anime? Goddamn. Blood something. Well, it was a really interesting manga and anime that the lady gets pregnant, and when she's back, is like, yeah, I don't care about this anymore, and basically rushed the end and killed a franchise that was becoming actually really prolific. Or shit like, they just decide that get married, and because of the Japanese market, the fans go like, okay, she's getting married, I cannot no longer fantasize that I will marry her, I won't buy her stuff anymore, and they just drop the manga. So it's a different environment altogether. The pressures, the way that is handled, the way that the magazines force you to work or don't even care if you work at all. That I think actually maybe the American comic industry should learn a couple of things, like actually killing the things that are not popular and just keep going. Yeah,
that
So
was a good joke, Pablo. You weren't even trying to be
I know.
funny, and yet it was funny.
So, for example, there was an article, and I just kind of brought this up here. One of the most prolific female mangakas, Rumika Takahashi.
Mhm.
She put out, she released, she shared with everyone her schedule, and she is a workaholic. She's been doing this for like 40 years, nonstop. Before noon, she does the inking for 7 or 8 pages of character artwork. Noon, eats lunch, does housework. 4 p.m., read, do housework. 7 p.m., eat dinner, do housework. 9 p.m., start drawing new artwork. Then the next day, 9 a.m., temporarily stops working, meaning she worked for 12 hours, like all through the night, just to go to bed. And then 3 hours later, she's back up at noon.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
Dedication.
that has been her schedule for decades.
That's a routine. That's a damn routine, is what that is.
Mm.
Motherfucking routine.
Yeah.
Globby.
Yeah.
What are I have not forgotten. What are some names, man? Who are some of you guys who are like, oh man, this wedding sucks, but man, oh hey, look at how amazing that looks. What are some names? I know you've got a few.
Brian Bowen's one of the biggest ones. He's just too
Yes.
slow.
I know we mentioned that one.
I think Starlin was actually always a little bit slow, to be honest. I mean, he would, as far as meeting a
Okay.
deadline, he could do it for a while, but
okay. Stone
Yeah.
was good. Oh man,
yeah,
his
yeah.
stuff was good. Oh man, really good to look at.
A couple of them are maybe more esoteric names, like Mike Plug.
Okay.
Oh God, Marshall Rogers was, unfortunately, but rest his soul. He was slow, but he was, man, just beautiful work. Usually guys who weren't seasoned pros that just came up as cartoonists. A lot of the guys who did, like, Alex Ross is still a comic artist in a sense, and he's slow as, I mean, he can't really do anything on time because of that style he uses.
I'm surprised we didn't think of that name sooner. Yeah, he's obviously definitely not someone who
Yeah.
can just crank them out, but you know what you get when it happens is good.
Right.
That's true. That's
But
true.
See, most of the guys. None of them were ever as fast as Kirby. Perez is one of the fastest,
No.
but most of the guys of the times that I actually care about, you had some that were slow here and there, but most of them weren't because they had to make a living and they had to learn how to not be slow. Whereas now, other than isolated guys like obviously Dave Stevens and Brian Bowen and such. And Barry Windsor Smith was slow. I think he had a problem.
Really, I did not know that one about Windsor. Wow.
No, he would do things for a while, but then he kind of just left the business. I mean, not slow, not super slow, but there were times when he didn't like to do a regular series that much. Ross covers. Astro City. I'm glad it's always great to see a fellow Astro City fan, dearest. Does my heart good. But the slow pokes usually are some of the guys from the late 90s and into the early aughts because they weren't trained cartoonists or trained artists. And like you mentioned who were you talking about earlier? Quietly slow.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. As much as I remember at
But
the
I like his
time
work.
I was in. Oh yeah, I remember.
Mhm.
I remember when Jupiter's Legacy was coming out. I remember the first 2 issues came out 1 and 2 like back to back, and I think
Right.
3 there was like a few months delay. Then 4 there's another few months delay. Then
Okay,
number 5
yes.
there was like a year delay.
Cassidy.
I was just like,
Slow also.
Yeah, John Cassidy's good.
Oh, but slow as molasses.
That's a good name.
Did you ever read Planetary?
I have looked at pages. It's fucking good.
It's great.
Oh, it's fucking good.
I don't usually like Warren Ellis, but that's a book of his I liked. With him and John Cassidy did the whole thing. I remember it started out something like, don't give me ballparking at 97, 98, somewhere up in there, right?
Uh-huh.
it finally ended around 2000, I want to say 9 or so. There were a
Mhm.
grand total of about 26 issues and some specials.
Mhm.
I'm no mathematical genius, but do the math on that a little bit. 26 something issues. There whole years would go by and we'll go, and then a planetary issue would pop up and go, wait, is that still coming out? I mean, I was really liking it. Now I had to go back and dig up the previous issue to know where I was. I'm like, wait a minute. This is bad. So they're still doing it. We heard they were still doing it. Now it just plops out there. I forgot what happened 2 years ago when I read the last one.
Dude,
Years would go by.
TMNT, the second run on Mirage had the issue. That was at the time, it was the early 2000s into like the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think the book went only like 30 or 40 issues, and it was called TMNT, and it had Eastman on name. And then I guess, once he got under IDW, like, you better crank this shit out, bro. But yeah, when it was called TMNT,
Right.
oh man, I think
Slow, huh?
after like issue 20, oh dude, yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about it at times. It's also like, oh hey, there's a comic book. Oh, I gotta go back and reread.
We already mentioned.
And sadly, I don't think it ever properly finished. I gotta go relook, but I don't know if it ever properly finished.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Go ahead, Clubby.
No, I was just gonna say what Fanny said. Dave Stevens, we already mentioned. And I did mention Jose Garcia Lopez because he was doing a lot of other stuff. But it's true, he did not have a lot of interior work. And I think they could chalk some of that to he was probably.
He draws a great
slow.
Superman. Can we just mention
Oh,
that
he draws a
great Superman?
He drew the DC Comics style book for years. I mean, there's actually a style book done from the early 80s.
I've seen those.
His is the
I've
greatest.
seen those.
The DC characters by him are just. But he did have a short run on. There's like 2 trades, one or two with compiled of his Superman work. It's scattershot from different points of time, but I have him and I love him. But he wasn't super prolific in terms of interiors.
Mm-hmm. No, fantastic art. Oh man,
I love
that
him.
guy's a weapon, straight up. So Peter Shady's Helicopter Tours, what's up, man? Has a great question. In the anime Attack on Titan, in the credits, it states it is produced by the Attack on Titan Committee. I know this is a comic show. So does manga get produced by a committee in the same way? All right, Pablo Caster, that's your guys' question. That's your ballpark.
On Attack on Titan.
Go ahead.
On Attack on Titan is actually due to the popularity and due to a lot of pressure that they actually had more than one people on the writing team, and I think that actually worked against the story. You will see in the next. I think there's still 2 episodes or 3 1-hour episodes that they are releasing to end the series.
They still haven't finished it.
No,
what the fuck?
Yeah, final season
dragging
part
this
1
out for
has
so
final
long.
season part 2, and after final season part 2, there's a final season final or something like that, and then there's the final episodes that are still in production. Yeah, I know it's absolutely stupid. Don't worry about it. It's more stupid what happens because the end is absolute garbage.
And then we'll get the epilogue.
Yeah.
And then epilogue post coda.
Basically. But
yeah.
The issue
I wanted watching like one episode of Attack on Titan because I was like, I heard this is popular. I'll give it a shot. And then I saw like the first episode, like the kid's mom gets eaten by a Titan. Like, oh, she snapped at him like a Slim Jim. Like, this is a little darker than I care for my entertainment. So I think I'm gonna pass on this one.
I could understand that.
Yeah, Attack on Titan, the final season final is absolutely stupid, man. It's absolutely stupid what they are doing. And basically, Isayama had a plan. He tried to go through the plan, but there was a lot of pressure, a lot of intervention, and the story is not perfectly what he would have hoped. There's some of the mysteries that will never be answered because fuck you, that's why. I don't know. And it's absolute bullshit what they did for the end. I don't want to spoil it in case of somebody want to actually watch the final episode, but the manga is out. And if you think that Eren decisions make absolute no sense, yes, yes, uh, no defense there.
Wow.
Like, I think I'm just gonna stick with like going through more Saint Seiya and One Piece for the time being.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, you
One
can't go wrong.
Piece, the manga is really interesting what is going on there because basically you can feel that
Don't spoil it for me because I'm actually gonna get invested.
I'm avoiding
just
spoilers.
saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Oda kinda got the sense of what if I don't finish this after the death of Miura, after the death of the Berserk creator. So you can feel like he's connecting the dots and just trying to rush to establish how everything is going to go to the end. Because
We have
some
to
of
set
the
things up before we knock them down.
yeah, because one of the biggest mysteries and one of the biggest reveals of what really happens with a character or what really is behind the character, his powers and everything. Up to now, he has been just a shadow talking about control, and now he's like a real presence and a real enemy. And yeah, you can see that this is going to end, is going really fast to the end, and it's amazing. I never thought it will be this good. To be something
So-
rushed, by the way.
So I'm in the middle of rewatching through Skypiea.
It's good. They spoiled
yes.
part of what's going on right now on Skypiea.
Let's see. We're fighting God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at. Like we're fighting God.
Yeah, is normal in anime. What can you do after you have beaten the baddest baddie in old Badland? Well, here's God. Kick his ass.
Oh, then what's next? I know. Let's go fight the world government now.
Yeah. One Piece is
That is my
really
favorite
fun.
thing about it. It's like the evil like world government is called the world government.
No, the best part is no, we know the world government is actually run by satanic demons that want to enslave people and take their children. Yeah, that is One Piece.
I can't wait to delve.
Fun.
I'm hoping next week, and fingers crossed, because I was hoping to do this a few weeks ago, but I'm hoping next week. There's this legendary, and I had to emphasize those words. I said words. Word. Legendary Japanese shop. It's everything. It's got a grocery store. It's also got restaurants in it. It's also got like a clothing store, and it's also a place that sells manga. It's an all around. It's like the Japanese market. And I'm gonna go there. I'm hoping to get. My goal is to get volumes 4 through 9 of One Piece, and then I'm gonna get to reading it, and then I will definitely take Dave Stevens slow with getting to 4 through 9, but I will get there, and Castor can vouch for me. It takes a bit, but I do get there. I'll get there, and he knows because I messaged him like, all right, I got this done. Just so you know, it took a while, but I got there. What's up, TZ? Nice to see you, man. Oh, guys, by the way, my Green Goblin hot toy is coming.
Nice.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's coming.
I mean,
I gotta ask you in the chat: do you want a separate video, or should this be debuted on the comic shop? I want you guys to really decide on this.
Yeah, comic
This is
shop.
where it all started on the comic shop, boy.
That is true. This all started way back
Just to answer a bit to Vince, he was asking what was first, One Piece or Dragon Ball. Actually, Oda worked as an assistant for Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, so
So
he
the Oda, the creator of One Piece, was the assistant. He was doing the line work for Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball. And as far as I know, Akira Toriyama actually helped to develop One Piece. Helped for with some ideas, helped with some technical knowledge, and that's why One Piece is it started so goddamn good because it was a pro that already worked with one of the best pros that have been in the industry up to that point.
also fun fact: Frieza in Dragon Ball was inspired based on real estate uh, businessmen.
Yep.
Oh, so I want to show you this, Nick, as something to consider briefly for the topic of One Piece. So, if you will,
Yeah.
come with me for a moment and pull up.
Almost there. There you go.
You could buy the box.
God
I
damn.
want to, but my finances say otherwise right now.
It's also like
So I get
$200.
Oh, just say I want that. I do
So-
want that.
Is that the anime or the manga?
That's the manga. There's like 4 of these.
Wow.
So also like I was like I want a picture of this just to do this, and then I click on. I'm like, oh, what's this? Number 2 most gifted in erotic manga and hentai. What?
Wow. Okay,
I knew it. Perverts.
I was not expecting that, but well, Boa Hancock. There's a
Yeah, but this is
character.
only East Blue.
There's a character where the activation of her powers depends on how much horny you get after watching her. So to trigger her powers, she basically gets naked and kills you.
Oh no, she's full on like dominatrix. Like
Yeah.
men are beneath her. Like she looks like down her nose at you so much that she literally throws her head back and she's like looking straight at the sky.
Yeah, because looking at you is underneath her. Yeah, that's one of the best characters because Luffy. What can I say,
Yes.
Luffy?
There is so much to get into to enjoy with it, and hopefully we'll be able to get that second season of the Netflix show like started soon.
Oh man, I wonder when that's gonna come out. I wonder if it's gonna be like a year and a half to 2 years. I do wonder.
They need to solve the strike first because they cannot properly negotiate shit until the strike is over.
I've not heard about it, and I could be wrong because my paying attention is admittedly a bit selective, but I've not heard anything directly about any of the One Piece cast that have been, speaking about this needing to end. I'm not saying that, they don't feel that way, but I've not seen or heard about anything of them saying, "Hey, what's going on here?" So I wonder if they're just keeping
basically because they
quiet.
can't.
Netflix already gave the money to renew the series. Basically, they are just waiting until everything is set up so they can continue with the contracts and renegotiate all bonuses and such. Because basically they are still under Zac Efron and shit. But writers are full ahead. There are, as far as I know, already reunions with Oda. Oda is helping them bring a character that will be really fun to have on screen, but is really difficult to make. That is Tony Chopper. Tony Chopper is a reindeer that ate the human fruit. So normally you have
a
people,
CGI character, effectively.
You have people that eat animal fruits and they gain animal powers and transform into animals. This reindeer ate the human fruit, so he transforms into a human.
Also, one of the other things, kind of in relation to that, chances are they're probably going to get Jamie Lee Curtis to play Dr. Kureha in relation to that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Because like Jamie Lee Curtis wants that to happen. The fans have been demanding that casting to happen, and basically all the people, the producers in that were like, we can't, or basically saying we can't officially say anything, but we're open to the idea.
Okay.
So I think it's
So
basically
negotiations sound good.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to happen. It just they can't go out and officially like make it happen because of the strike.
The good part of all this is that it may be opening a bit more of the Western normie audience to some of the Japanese material. And a lot of the Japanese material is heavily influenced by old school American material. So having a way back to old school American material because of that is a possibility. Let's just say Japan, or at least certain niches in Japan, are really in love with the military aspect of the US in the 2000s. So basically, there's whole animes dedicated to that. There's whole mangas dedicated to militaries like that, and it's really American, really pro-American. If Hollywood gets those license and start doing American stuff because they got that Japanese IP, I will love my ass off, but I will love it. Yeah, it's like the next Top Gun is based on a manga. Okay, I mean.
Oh, hey, what's up, Fenrir? Nice to see you here, man.
Zip.
Hey guys, wow,
Hi.
this was fun to hear.
Welcome.
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Just feeling a bit down. I really don't know. I feel somebody stole away my power.
That
kinda
reminds
down.
me. I found your drugs.
You found
Oh.
his drugs. You're on
Well, that explains why I'm
drugs.
so down.
Yeah. Also, you might need new ones.
You
He had,
might
he-
need new
he-
ones.
we had to test them, you see, to make sure they weren't poison. Good news and bad news.
Oh, you jackass! All you had to do was keep him safe and mail him back to me.
I live in Ecuador.
You had
If
one
I
job,
melt-
boys. One
if-
job.
Dude,
So-
if I mail them to you, the employees on the postal service on Ecuador will have taken them. So it's better that I have taken them, right?
Ah, god damn it!
Don't
Why
worry,
can't everything just be easy?
we'll keep them safe.
Beans.
I got nothing.
You're basically telling
got-
me they don't exist anymore.
I'm not saying that did or didn't happen.
I couldn't
God
tell
damn
you.
it!
I got nothing.
We'll
wanna break
let
it down
even
Enrique
more.
speechless.
At least pay the guy pizza after you take what is his.
Pizza. So okay, now that we got more of us here, I want to ask. We were talking earlier, me, Caster, and Claude were talking about at the very beginning about some monster comics to talk about for next week. I feel like 4 monster comic books would be really fun to talk about. And,
Original Hellboy. First
Hellboy.
issues
Okay,
when
for-
Hellboy was going just for monsters instead of
So,
all the
we look
mystery
at-
behind
so
his origin.
the first issue. What's the deal?
Well,
Okay,
the thing is with Hellboy, wouldn't you basically be doing like the first story of like the Black Rose? Was it the Black Rose or?
No, Black Rose is later, I believe. Do you? If you find the order, that will be great.
Oh.
But there's some arcs that are not really main story. Let's just say that, because the story of Hellboy is basically Hellboy is rescued on the Second World War, becomes part of this organization, etc., etc. Then he basically becomes King Arthur and goes to hell.
Well, the
Crazy
only reason
stuff happens.
the only thing is like actually I'm just looking it up now. Seeds of Destructions is like the first story. and
Yes.
that's a 4 parts comic. So if we were going to be doing Hellboy, we'd basically be doing that for that night.
I see what you mean. Let me
That's the
check.
only reason
There's a
I
couple
say
of
no.
just one issue stories that are really good.
Or
Hmm? There's the one I don't remember the name right now. But do you remember that scene when they revive a corpse on the? I believe is the first Hellboy movie. Okay, that's based on a comic, but it's not about using the corpse to gain any directions or anything. It's basically a discussion between Hellboy and the corpse, and it's really interesting. So that one is really good. And there's a couple of one issues when Hellboy is already on hell that uh, are equally just sad and terrifying at the same time that I like. uh, but yeah, a lot of the stories are just main story, a couple of one-off with the lobster, and yeah, the rest is basically main story. We will have to read 4 or 5 issues at a time.
yeah, that's the only issue I see with
So
wanting to do Hellboy is because so much of it is just is 4 issue stories.
Mhm.
yeah, we probably have to do an episode based on that, and that's what we could definitely consider for down the line. But we're trying to look at 3 to 4 issues we could do for an episode for next week. I would definitely like to consider your idea though, Pablo, for a future episode. I think that's a fantastic idea because I'm not familiar with Hellboy at all. So and that's up to and including the movies. Clobby had some really excellent suggestions. I know Caster had one or two as well. Maybe
Yeah,
we
but
can at
quick
least
question. Speaking about Hellboy, could we do a watch party about the old animated movies? I don't feel people talk about those anymore.
Maybe on
are you
Gilded.
on?
And I
Yeah, I
do
was gonna
remember
say,
they were pretty freaking
Fender,
creepy.
are you on Gilded? You're not on my Gilded. That'd probably be the best spot to do that is on Gilded. Which a lot of people in my chat are on Gilded, and yes, you have suggested Evil Dead. Here's the thing: there's a few series. I feel like, especially there's like a mini Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. That would have to be an episode as well. We're right, and that's something I would like to do down the line. I wish I had thought about it sooner. Maybe we could have done something like that.
Oh, Nick,
Maybe. What's up, Pablo?
I found it. It's a one issue, Hellboy the Corpse. I actually sent you the
How
link
many
on the
pages
private
is
chat.
it?
36 pages.
36 pages. Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, and it's one of
Oh,
the
I
really
missed
sad
that
downer stories.
TZ.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay, no, hey, if it's okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. All right. And now, is this like a monster? No, I'm gonna sound like a absolute normie and a half. Is this like a monster book story? Because it seems a
Yeah,
little
Hellboy
kind of
revives.
heroic.
Hellboy revives Corpse to talk about liquor and stuff because the
Okay.
guy got dead drinking. Basically, that's the main core of the story without spoiling any of the drama. But yeah, is a reanimation of corpses and tragic tales.
Okay.
Plus, it's a chance to talk a little bit about Mike Mignola.
That yeah, his art has evolved a lot. I don't like what the story is doing with. They are basically doing the Avengers with the Dark Horse comic
Mhm.
characters, and they are bringing a lot of people that were dead back, and they use Hellboy to do that. And it's too convoluted and too stupid. But other than that, Mignola during the original Hellboy was just fascinating to watch the art because it's not that really styly, really clean art. It's more like deformed lines, but for monsters that works really good. It's
Mhm.
really good. It gets into the tone of
And
something
speaking
dark
about
and maleficent.
Avengers, you kind of bring a good point. I feel that a lot of Hellboy's movies have been trying to do that, actually.
Well, but
No,
that's kind of always sort of been the whole thing is that they're basically a team of monsters fighting monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The issue
You
with
know,
the
I kind of was
movies.
expecting a bit more. I mean, I know that, but you ever wonder maybe they could have done more with Hellboy? Like at least one movie, just give it to him where he does a mystery or a monster hunting noir story of his own.
No, the issue is that with the Del Toro movies, they try to make Hellboy more comicky because on the comic, Hellboy is more stoic. Is really really
Yeah, I
stoic.
know
He
that.
doesn't really give a shit about anything that you have to say or do. So he's just like, huh, asshole. Uh, no one-liners, no real fun there. Del Toro added that, and it was cool. This version of the character, I actually enjoy it on the screen. I'm sad there's not the third movie. And when they do the reboot, they try to go for the more serious tone, but they don't understand that if you are going serious with Hellboy, you need to go serious with the world, and the world is still too niche for that story on Hellboy, and also they rush because they go straight to the story of King Arthur, and that's the end of Hellboy. That's literally the end of Hellboy. Hellboy gets the sword, becomes the king of basically England, and then he drags the witch to hell, and he stays in hell up to 2021 when they bring him back to Earth because they are stupid.
All right, so I want to give a quick shout out to 5 picoseconds. Thank you for listening and hanging out, man. You're a great supporter of the channel, and have a great night. Enjoy Buffy, sir. So, okay, I think Hellboy #1 is a great idea for a lock.
Oh, this is not
And-
number one, by the way. This is Corpse. It's a side story. It's good to know
is
the
it just
art.
called Hellboy Corpse? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I stand corrected. Phantom Outside had a great suggestion. I feel like at least one fan suggestion would be cool, and to make it interactive.
Good idea. Good idea.
And he says Origin Weird World Tales number 93. Guys, I think that sounds like fun. I think that sounds like damn fun.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good
we should
idea.
take
Good
Phantom
idea.
Outsider and take him up on that. I'd say let's consider that a lock. Any objections?
I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Kalabi, you had some excellent suggestions earlier involving Dracula.
Yes. I was thinking,
Let's pick one, man, because you had a few good ones. I'm like, let's at least get one of them.
I guess what we could do is each of us bring one comment.
Well, I'm not gonna bring any to the table because I want to have you guys bring.
I'm just
stuff,
saying. I
but
mean, that way everybody gets to pick one they want to do. I guess. But I was
taking my place. I had the fan suggestion. We got Phantom Outsider with the fan suggestion to take my place.
Because I got a bunch, but so I don't want to hog it by taking 2 or 3. But I can name one. I was thinking when we were talking.
I at least have one. At the least have one.
No. I was thinking about maybe Tomb of Dracula number 50, just for the fun of having Dracula the Silver Surfer.
I'm down. The fact that we could say Dracula and Silver Surfer in the same sentence. I mean, once again, any objections on the panel of the chat? I think that sounds like a damn good time. All right,
yeah, that would be fun. And so I'll just stick with that one. I mean, I could do it. I could pick more if you want. I mean, Vanty did mention that Marvel premiere number 28 with the Legion of Monsters. I mean, the art's not great, but it does have all the Marvel monsters in it.
Does it got a good story? I mean, I want to see what Casper has to say.
I'll take a look at it. It's been a while.
And yeah, I'll take another one for you. What any one issue you got, Caster?
I mean, I was kind of torn between the two I had suggested, which was
the Vampirella, and have you thought about it more? Then we can have our 4. We can have a 4, man.
Oh, well, sorry, I'm spacing out. What was the other book I suggested? Because all I remember is Vampirella right now. No, Hellstrom, Son of Satan.
Or Hellstrom. Oh yeah.
Well, I found a couple of team ups with them.
Sort it out. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay.
All right. So I'm thinking actually, maybe the Vampirella will be good just to do a non superhero.
You want to do an old one or like an old Warren one, or you want to do a?
Oh, let's go for Warren. We might as well go back to like some of the best stuff.
That works.
Or the other thing I was thinking of is I think it's like Ghost Rider #2 is Damon Hellstrom's first appearance.
I
And
think
so
so.
I want to go back and kind of I'm gonna go check that issue real quick to see if it does kind of show the interesting stuff about that. About his origin.
Yeah. There are, let's see. Like I said, there are a couple of team ups. Remember last year we did team up? I mean, this is Marvel team up and then Marvel 2-in-1 with Son of Satan. But if you'd rather do the one with Ghost Rider, that's cool too. I mean,
Well, because I think that does have I think that Son of Satan first appearance is good. It works because because you have the complexity of the of the character, and it gets into a lot of the sort of Hammer horror tropes.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a dude with a very unhappy windmill on his jacket.
Windmill. Wait, what?
Oh, one of those, mid-century German windmills.
That why?
Yeah,
Because he's a
I
biker.
ask why too.
Because we have to make bikers look evil.
They have been seen too many bikers then.
And there's that first, there's that weird War Tales of '93, as Fanti talked about, which is the first Creature Commandos. That's interesting. But yes.
Oh, I want to check out Creature Commandos. I think that one would be a good one to do with.
Yeah. But like I said, Son of Satan, you got, like you mentioned, Vampirella. That's cool, though. I mean, there's so many, you got to pick one out. Dude. You just have to, you know how long that title ran, that Warren black and white title ran in the.
All right, I'll probably 70s. Do a little bit of research. I'll go do some research off air and kind of
yeah. It just, you can dig it up on our usual site that we watch, our Read Comics Online site. You can find them all. No doubt. Yep. No doubt.
Plus, websites like Humble Bundle will do sales like that all the time. I think I got a bunch of the classic Vampirella that way.
Oh yeah. Cool. Well, there we go. I'm looking. Dracula, Lord of Vampires against the power cosmic of the Silver Surfer.
Maybe we'll go for I wonder how long these are, because there's some odd crossovers. I was gonna say Alien and Vampirella, but that's now that I'm looking at it 6 issues. So never mind. Although that would be a fun one to cover.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Vampirella, huh? Let's look. I wonder how many, because there are a lot of series later too. So there's a lot of, I guess in the 90s, or what's the 90s they started bringing her back?
She's from the originally from what decade?
Say again.
What decade is she originally from?
70s.
69.
Okay.
That makes sense. Nice. Yeah, that's just amusing.
So, well, that's when I first saw her on the Lax in the 70s, anyway. So, yeah. But yeah, now that, oh man, there's so many titles. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And even with that, the only problem is we gotta be a little more careful with the art because it gets a little more risque.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Vampirella.
Yeah, I guess it does. It sure does, man. Oh my goodness, these covers.
It was a good time. It was a great time for comics.
Yeah.
Yes, it was, especially at the drugstore. Looking at the newest issue. Hoping your mom doesn't catch you flipping through it tonight. Looking at one from 1972 now. That racy cover. Wow, dude. Vampirella lookalike contest. Oh boy.
Well, I mean, the thing is, looking at it now, it's a lot of little standalone stories in here. So,
I think, Vampirella never had a real overarching plot, as I remember. She was just one of those
kind of standalone stories.
I mean, just that origin, that first story is 6 pages.
Yeah.
well, 7. So it's like that we could just kind of knock out like nothing.
Didn't Vampirella have?
Let's be honest. We all know why she went as long as she did.
Well, she was big, so things go long when she's big. It's normal.
Crazy.
There are other things that are big.
Crazy.
No, didn't she had a strip on newspapers also?
I don't remember a newspaper strip. I mean, at least not here, not in this country, but so I don't think so. But
Huh.
oh, there you go, Ghost Rider.
All right, so do we come to a decision, Caster?
Yeah, so look at that Vampirella. Like it's a bunch of little standalone stories. Like the origin, the first one is 7 pages.
Okay. Do you want to do like 2 stories so it could be like 14 pages? If that
we can do
out. Okay.
Yeah, that way we
so
get something.
Let's get that. Let's get it in our private chat on the Comic Shop Talk on Twitter. And we're off to the races for next week. And that will be fun. See, guys, you have to see it once again, a live meeting discussion. I love live meeting discussions. Basically. You never know what can come out when we talk about things. So,
Nick, I put a link in that chat on tweet for Tomb of Dracula number 50.
Okay, good. Thank you, Klobby. Yes. Awesome. That is freaking fantastic.
Which number did we did last year?
I think it was number 1.
Number 1. Okay.
Yeah, we did a few issues, didn't we?
Yeah.
Did we also do the one that had Blade's origin in it?
All right. I think we did 2 for 2 weeks. One we did one like it was the first first Werewolf by Night. It was Tomb of Dracula. Some other ones. Then we did one where we had the monsters teaming up with Marvel characters, like in Marvel 1, and so we may have done 2 weeks of that if I remember right.
Spidey and Frankenstein was one of the issues.
And
what are you eating?
That's right.
You are making me hungry. That's crunchy.
It is good.
Oh, that's crunchy.
That crunch.
Oh God, me too.
See,
it's real good.
See, that's what makes like Detroit style like one of the better styles of pizza. So it's because like it's even a delight for your ears.
God damn it! No, I need pizza.
You are a sadistic bastard.
There you go. That crunch, man. That crunch. Your microphone picked it perfectly.
No, I bet you $50 he did that on purpose.
Oh yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to do that on purpose, I would have taken pride in that. Let's be real here. I would have taken so much pride in that, but no, I swear that was not intentional. I would have, eaten that up, for lack of a better word. Or it wasn't really lack of a better. I just wanted to be on the nose on purpose. Just saying. No, but for real though, it's really good. This is the brand Devour, really good. It's one of the best frozen pizza brands on the market, and it's a Detroit style brand. It's so filthy good. If you guys, if you have access to get a hold of Devour, I highly recommend it.
Let's get that close up on that pizza.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's get some product placement going.
Oh, look at that cheese.
Better than the pizza I just had, probably.
I love.
Oh man, I'm kind of broke right now, but you're just tempting me, dude.
Well, isn't that the whole point of temptation? What's up, a day outlaw? Yes, it is a bluey napkin. That's right. It was a bluey napkin. That is facts. It was absolutely a bluey napkin because that is a very popular show in our household. Huge. And what's up, Abigor? I see you, man. Nice to see you as well. Sadly, I didn't see you at Danzig, but I
Admit
know
it,
you're
that's
out
not
there.
your kid's napkin. You saw a few episodes and started loving the show.
Oh, dude, my girlfriend and I, we watch it. There are times where it'll be her and I just watching it, and the kids are asleep.
Yeah, it's
Oh
just
yeah,
that good.
I'll say it. It's that damn good. This show freaking rules. Just
Dude.
saying.
You remind me of one of the weirdest interactions I ever had on my life. I was
Oh,
on
yeah?
a mall and I see a friend with a huge bag of My Little Pony toys, and I like, hey, that's for your daughter, and he was like, yeah, my daughter.
Guys, it's an hour and a half into the show, and we have not done one cheers yet. And we have almost 20
We can't really
people here
blame
in
a
the
guy for
chat.
liking. I mean, I've seen about the first 2 seasons
No,
of MLP, and
I
it's pretty good.
I enjoyed the first 3 seasons. Then it's shit.
I have not seen Beyond that, and I've not heard anything bad about Beyond that. But anyways, we're gonna do this because we have almost 20 people here in our chat, and well, we're overdue for an acknowledgement. So, chat, this is for listening to us. Just go with the flow with the show. We discuss monster comics for Halloween ideas. Talked about artists who are slow but amazing. So it makes for a good show, man. You just make it as
It's
you
fun.
go along, but have fun with it. So this
Yeah.
is to all of you in the chat. Thank you.
Salud.
Ah. So I was thinking it might be better to do the Ghost Rider story instead than Vampirella,
Okay.
just because there's less risk of the YouTube having a problem with showing Vampirella.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just
Yeah,
plus
I see where you're going.
Yeah, and I think it'd be better ultimately. I hate to say it, but I think it'd be better ultimately to be able to cover. Also, like, come on, it's like the second appearance of Ghost Rider.
Johnny Blaze.
Yes, OG. Like
All right.
we're second issue of Ghost Rider.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm in. That sounds absolutely showing too much man Morgan one turn right. For real, man. Yeah, we don't need to. Mark D with the CRA does too much work on Toxic Tuesday that he doesn't have to do. Let's not add to anyone's resume. Period. For that. All right, I guess I'm gonna do that crunch again.
God damn it.
And I have not been so more pissed off than anybody in the last few weeks than I have now.
Now that was intentional.
Just to show off that cover a little bit.
That is also crunchy.
Oh, ooh, that is a nice cover. I like this. I really like this. That is a hellbound cover.
Yeah, like food probably. Or no, I don't know.
Welcome
Maybe
to
not
hell,
that.
mortal. Step right up and shake hands with Satan.
I love the style.
Wow, Satan is shredded.
Yeah,
Dude, like it's like they drew all the muscles just to like get your eyes to like go straight down to his dick.
I noticed that too.
It's almost like Ghost Rider was secretly homoerotic. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Well,
biggest
most
dick I've ever
horror
seen,
stories
man.
tend to kind of.
Man.
That time, I heard you coming.
What was the sound? A sploosh?
I had that clip will never get old until the end of time. Straight up, it's just one of those masterworks. I was like, wow, how did this happen again? Do not, yeah, dude, no, do not. Oh yeah, we all, dude. When Dolph Lundgren did it, it was huge. It was monstrous, man. It was the load of all loads, and that's what happens when no man's got to let the load all out. It do be like that. It really do. But that pizza bread. Oh, speaking of other things that coming. Alpha Core #1 is right around the corner. And I'm really looking forward to Alpha Core #1. I really like Joe Bennett, and we all know the name of Chuck Dixon. Obviously, it says obvious as water being wet, but and they know a team book is that's his one of his big things. Like it's like everything about this feels like a hand in glove type of thing right here. I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm really looking forward to this book. I'm excited about it. I'm really hyped about it. And I heard a very vague description that he was talking about Broxwell. And he's like, yeah, I was thinking about a little bit of like a Dirty Harry vibe with this character. I was like, oh, you say no more, Chuck. You had me a Dirty Harry vibe. I'm in. Everything else is potatoes and gravy with salted butter, might I add.
So I have let me ask one question first. Do you guys think they'll do the announcement and do that before or after Thanksgiving?
Before. Unless
back.
Unless they don't get it in their hands, but I think they're gonna get it in their hands before Thanksgiving. I truly believe that. And it could end up being pushed back later, but I really think it's gonna be that way.
Do we have anything about timeline? Where is it situated? Is continuing the story, or is just an spin-off, completely separated? What's going on?
Well, those types of details have not been put out there yet. Right now, the book is being kept very deeply in secret. If I had to take a very educated guess, it probably takes place right after ISOM 2 as far as main story goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was flashbacks / exposition, show some upbringing. I'm sure that at the very minimum there'll be some. That's my guess. But I'm sure I wouldn't be very shocked if it was not current day. As far as not current day, like identity politics, but as far as I guess you could say hypothetically speaking, figuratively, 2023 time, current with the ISOM books. I do think it. I don't see how it would be a book set in the past because, once again, I mean, if it were to be a book set in the past, granted, I know we're expecting these characters to have books that continue, but one of the goals is to make these books really matter. I think if you're going to really make it matter, can't have it all focused on the past unless you're telling almost like a villain story on how like a character rose to power, like a Darren Fontana, which I've already said, if you're going to do like a one shot, that would be the one to do it because that's the type of character who could use a story strictly set in the past. That would be the one character I think who would benefit from that format. And usually villains kind of tend to benefit from that format because you want to see how they rose to power. So villains tend to benefit from flashbacks a lot. That's just my 2 cents, though. What do you got, Cass? And what's up, Doc Fortune? Nice to see you here, man. This guy from before of explaining Twin Peaks.
Okay, it's a restaurant where really hot chicks wait on you, and you. Oh.
I'm just getting back. I
see what you did there.
Well, basically,
Alpha timeline.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's present day.
Because ISOM is going really interesting, but I don't know if you can just spin off what currently going. So you will need another story, and then I will prefer Alpha Core to be just completely separated. To be honest. Because
it's all in universe.
Oh, if it's in universe, but it's not a continuation, then it works perfectly. Because ISOM is getting really interesting.
this has all been very specifically laid out that it's all going to be in universe. That if there's a possibility of different storylines down the line, that's maybe that could be a different conversation. But right now, the current plan is everything that comes out counts and is a part of history. And I really enjoyed issue 2. I really did. I like what was going on with the Hellions. I liked what we got of Gooding. I feel like we're getting to know a little bit more of Avery Stillman's personality. He's very reactionary, very abrasive, even though he means well. He kind of runs in blind a little bit, and it definitely kind of backfires at him. I like that we're definitely understanding his personality more, and we're definitely getting a better idea of his power set as well too. And of course, no, I'm not going to get into it because I know some people who still haven't read, but we find out why some background stuff on him, and I feel like the payoff to some of his backgrounds was absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth what little we know. So I'm like, okay, if we're gonna play the long game here, let's make it count. It feels like it really is counting. So I do like that aspect of we're getting characters here, and this is something that's meant to be for people who want to really dive in, really dive in. And you know what? I'm happy with that. I'm really, really happy with that. And I feel like the action was definitely much better told too in the second issue. So there you go. I just said action. You don't know the specifics of the action, chat. It's just action. So there, no spoilers. No spoilers. But I like the idea. I like that there's a book like Alpha Core that exists because I know it's supposed to be like a cop book. And even though one guy on the crew, we'll just say the founders, not really much of a cop guy, but the fact that he will accept a book like that to exist in his realm shows, hey, things don't have to be based on what I believe. If you're doing something that serves a story, just go with it. And clearly, Chuck Dixon is going all the way with his cop book. I like that. That's how it should be. I mean, that is how books were at one point in time. You did what served the story. Ideological beliefs were put on the back burner. And I know Dixon talked about that on a lot of his videos I watched because I watched a lot of his Ask Chuck Dixon videos. And he said, I feel like a lot of that mentality died when Denny O'Neil was no longer a part of the company.
Yeah.
And we got Claudia who sounds like he could be like another voucher on that, and that's unfortunate because Denny O'Neil was obviously more of like a traditional lefty, more like a hippie, I guess you could
total
say.
hippie.
Yes,
and didn't hate anybody to disagree with who had differing views, and didn't believe. I mean, he didn't. It's not like he didn't. He wouldn't put his own politics in comics. He did it with Hard Traveling Heroes and the Green Lantern, Green Arrows. They did with Neil Adams and other things. He just he just believed in balance. He didn't want to alienate anyone either. So he didn't. He didn't ask. He didn't. We didn't want every single title that he edited to have that. He wanted to write that in that book, and he did. But you should be able to do that if you want to do it. And if DC wants to take a shot, the book didn't sell. It's considered one of the classic comics of all time. It didn't sell that well. The art's beautiful. The story's hokey, hippie drivel. Even though but he got to do it the way he wanted it. But he was never the kind of guy that if you came to him with differing point of view in politics and said, "I want to put this in my story," he wouldn't stop you. Either way, he just didn't want to. He just said, "Look, all things are good. I mean, all things are go. All opinions are right." But he doesn't. For the most part, he didn't want to alienate any of the audience, and he was friends with people from all across the spectrum. And he did do it. He was really good on The Question. That was a good run.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, yeah. Essential DC. Straight up essential DC.
Because comics have had a lot of politics in them, even in the old days.
Yeah.
Because just like Hollywood did. It's just that they were a little more even-handed about it. And in other words, a little more subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they didn't say, if you don't like it, don't buy it. They just printed it and they put it in something.
God, that was the dumbest choice ever.
It was not confrontational, and that's right now we are seeing the backfiring of a lot of confrontational tweets and confrontational opinions online, because when you talk to a lot of people, a huge portion of these people will not be in agreement with what you have to say. It's just normal. No, not everybody thinks the same. So if you come guns blazing and just try to take down everybody, well, you will get rejection. But old school comics understood that there's a lot of shit that needs to be done. There's a lot of shit that uh, maybe will never be done societally, because humans tend to be shit, and systems like every government, what will you do with corruption on governments? If you get somebody elected that will really fight corruption, we'll have to make the corrupt uh, underlings fire themselves. That's not going to happen. So that fight is different. That fight is a gentleman fight. It is a fight not insulting and just hoping to win with the first shout, but taking your time, doing things strategically. And comics had a lot of politics that were strategically put. For example, during the Vietnam War, against the Vietnam War, everybody knew that a lot of comics from Marvel and from DC were against the war. Yeah, but they were against war, not against the US. That's the difference.
Right.
That's another big one. Like and that's what even I talked with my comic guy about recently, like up to this week. We talked about how and even though he's my comic guy has never said it, but from what I've gathered, I guess I guess you could say no, like observed. If I had to guess, I think maybe he's a lefty. I think that's an I think. Maybe he's a centrist. I don't know.
Who are you
He's
speaking of?
always my comic guy. But
Oh, okay.
he's always been the guy who always just said, hey, you vote for who you think is your best guy. But he's never really directly said anything. But we talked about he's just like, books were so evenly written about. And he's like, I just want, if you're put politics in a book, make it so it gives you something to think about. Like, and he had mentioned, like a lot of us do the Green Lantern, Green Arrow books, and that's such a still to this day a great point of reference for a story where you can show both sides, and you can come to your own decision on what you feel like was the better decisions made on that, and that's something we're truly lacking. Because I actually I don't mind if there's a political idea going on in a book. I feel like there's a time and a place for a lot of things, and I feel like even for that there's a time and place for it. I don't believe that the books always were political. I always still think that statement's misleading. But to me, I always said there were times where they had books where they were. Because to me, when you say always, I gotta really hold someone to that statement, because I can name so
there were
many
books
issues
always
where there
times
weren't.
where there was some in it. That doesn't mean they all were.
Yes, and if someone had to say name 30 issues off the top of your own hand that weren't, I'm like, well, you're now you're just making it too easy to me. Because if I just look at the volume 1 of the Wolfman Perez Titans run, I know that volume 1 that I read, I could probably name one issue where I wouldn't say it felt full on political, but they were kind of vaguely tackling some themes into there. But and that was just nothing more than a discussion for like a few panels. That's one comic of that entire first volume. Granted, I know the second volume was a lot more extensive, but I feel like that definitely is a good idea. Like, yes, they have had it throughout time, on and off. On and off is very different than always. And that's something a lot of people still don't really have the comprehension to comprehend.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And Piochet's helicopter tour is a great comment here. Says, without getting too political, we have to acknowledge that at some point in 2012 through 16, behind the scenes, edict was sent out to invade every corner. Oh, dude, of course. No, I mean, especially when you had like the Sana Amanats of the world and a lot of, we'll just say, authoritative figures I don't want to mention. Yes, it was clear that they were trying to get involved into every facet of culture. Well, anything, nothing was off limits. didn't matter if it was sports, it didn't matter if it was reading, it didn't matter if it was education, if it didn't matter what it was. If it existed as a thing that had fans, nothing was off limits. And unfortunately, comics was one of the things that definitely took a major brunt of it. What's up, Jaffo? Another great artist in the chat as
They
well.
killed it all.
I mean, yeah, they definitely, as far as the big two goes, yeah, they absolutely did damage to those brands. As far as the big two is concerned, yeah, they did really bad damage. But luckily we got a lot of great old comics that I'm good. It's just like, okay, hey, if things ever turn around, great, awesome. Maybe I'll consider that then. But I'm not sitting around waiting for it to change. It's kind of like, waiting for the abusive spouse to change. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. If people want to do that, that's their prerogative per se. But I'm good with, some of the few, current indie books I read. Like I did enjoy Firepower. Of course I'm enjoying Conan the Barbarian. Big Game I'm enjoying. Man, why is my brain scrambling? I am enjoying when Geiger comes out whenever it does. I know there's an origin story coming soon. I'm looking forward to checking that out, especially now that John's announced last week at NYCC that him, Tomasi, Brian Hitch, Francis Manipul, a few other guys are getting a Ghost Machine like universe going, and Geiger is gonna be involved with it. And I'm like, hey, cool. And that's gonna be part of an imprint that they're doing. I'm like, hey, I wish those guys the best, and hopefully you can get another shared universe that people can hopefully enjoy of comics. Obviously, I know guys like Johns and Tomasi and Hitch, they're all genuine comic fans. I'm like, it looks like they got their little corner. It's all guys who are comic fans. What a concept. Right nowadays, that's foreign language, but that's good. And hopefully they'll bring stuff that people can talk about and enjoy. And I hope to be one of them per se. So, anyways, though, God, what else have we not brought up? I know Casper mentioned to me the Exodus comic that's coming next week, Tales of the Damned, which is clearly a knock, or I wouldn't say a knock, but a spin on the title. I'm putting in the chat for those in case there's an Exodus fan. They had an album called Tempo of the Damned back in 04, 05. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. So now they got kind of called, Tales of the Damned. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We're getting some Exodus. I'm down. Let's see how this goes, because that is wild that I'm seeing something with the name Exodus in comics. And once again, I'll have an excuse to have more comics with bands. It feels like that's a great crossover that never gets acknowledged enough. When I saw Danzig last month, he had his whole comic line there of his I can't pronounce the brand, Veritic comics. He had his whole line there. He had a separate booth for his Danzig comics. Thank you, Abigor. 2004. Okay, I was close. I was very close. A lot of stuff happens in 19 years. It was cool to see that the comic booth was there. So the man is still all about them comics. So I guess, this is the part where Wars, Nick Weiser, Shepherd. Dude, what a song. I guess this is the part where we can now go across the board and ask, what has been on our reading list lately? We've not done one of these in a while. Now, obviously, next week we're going to be tackling some monster books for next week's episode. But it doesn't matter if it's new, old, moderate. I feel like we should definitely, give some some ideas for the chat. Hey, this is what I'm enjoying. Made the chat be like, hey, that sounds cool. And you know what? I'm going to let Mr. Fenrir lead it off. Fenrir, what have you been reading lately?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you, dude. I've just been sticking to old school novels. I've been going back into the old methods of the Shadows to Solomon Kane, because I really wanted to go into the old styles.
Okay. No, and
so far they've been pretty
doesn't matter
good.
if it's new or old. It's what are you reading, regardless of age.
Mainly the old stories of the Shadow and I'm trying to find a bit of the old. Freak, my mind's kind of getting a blank. What was his name? Doc Sam's.
Doc Savage.
Doc Sam's. Yeah, yeah, Doc Savage books. I'm trying
Cool.
to find those. They're novels. And I've been hearing a lot of the old radio shows too. Pretty good. You can really feel like you're there, and you can see everything. You just hear the stuff. It was just glorious, man.
He's
Truly a
the best
unique
hero on the
brand of
sound,
fun.
man.
Hmm.
That texture that he's all the time on the sound actually makes it magical.
Yeah, it
Hearing,
does.
yeah, hearing old school radio plays, goddamn, is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it just isn't the same when they try to do it now. I mean, I try to compare it with the old Batman, the new Batman ones, and this, and it's just not the same, man. You can see it's just not the same.
Yeah, it's too crisp, too, how do I say it? Sounds too artificial.
See, sometimes being way too polished has some disadvantages.
Yes.
It really does.
It takes the human aspect out of it. It really does. It's like, yeah, I like for something to look nice, of course, but when everything is too perfect, it feels kind of a little bit lifeless in certain aspects. Just a little bit.
Indeed. Indeed.
Will
Let me
that be
just tell
all,
you.
Fenrir?
Now, I also want to declare that Robert E. Howard was one of the best writers of his generation. Seriously, good work that man did.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
no question about that, buddy.
He deserves
All
more
right, Pablo.
recognition.
Fenrir, did you ever see the film made about his life with the whole wide world with Vincent D'Onofrio?
Absolutely not. I didn't.
I
Didn't even know
highly
it existed.
recommend it. He plays Robert E. Howard. Does a great job telling the life story. Renee Zellweger plays the his who was his girlfriend at the time, who became a professor in later years of life. She wrote a book about it called The Whole Wide World. He played a woman named Novelyn Price who knew all about him, and it chronicles the story beautifully. It's so well shot. It's a beautiful movie, and D'Onofrio is off the hook brilliant as Two Gun Bob, as they used to call him. Robert Howard, oh my God, man. There's scenes that give you the chills, like when he's just, they chronicle when he's first thinking up Conan and talking about what a bad bastard he is and stuff. Dude, the scenes when he's just telling her, she's just like pseudo intellectual, like academic, she would ask, she'd write all these flowery stories and ask him what he thinks, and he would tell her that there's garbage that she can't write. And he was like, really, he wasn't very tactful, and he would tell her about Conan and like scare the crap out of her. Dude, that.
Oh man, I gotta
See that
find
movie,
those.
man. The Whole Wide World. 1996, I believe. Vincent D'Onofrio, brilliant.
All right. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm, buddy. You can find it probably.
I'm gonna vouch on Klobby's behalf and say I've seen it, and yes, it rules.
Oh, you've seen it.
Fenrir, make it a sooner than later.
I didn't know you've
Straight
seen
up.
it. Cool, man.
I've seen
We'll
it.
do. Second after I get out of here, I'm gonna look for that thing.
That's a Toxic Tuesday, really, because I mean he's a toxic.
Yes, it will be. No, it will be. No, that is inevitable. Straight up.
No, about a year or two ago, they had a screening of it at Fathom Events, and Renee Zellweger attended that here in my town, and I was.
Oh, cool.
But it doesn't get a lot of recognition.
No, it does not. I've pointed out to a lot of people, and at times I remember one point in time I had forgotten it was a thing. I'm like, oh yeah, it was a thing, because I thought when I watched it, like, God, I think a year ago. I think I could be off. And I'm like, oh, I forgot this was a thing.
There's better news. It's on Tubi.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Yes, it is.
Cool, man.
Okay,
I haven't seen it in a long time. I have a DVD of it.
Pablo, what have you been enjoying lately?
Okay, so I have had a bit of extra time this couple of weeks because my best friend is in the US, so my schedule was a bit more open, and I decided to go full ISOM, and I wrote through ISOM 1 and 2 last week. I have read ISOM 1 before. just as a refresher, reading 1 and 2, one before 2, and ISOM is promising. Is what I will tell you. Is really promising. There's a couple of things that are still left to be polished, but if you are, if I'm honest, ISOM is on a level that most Image comics will never be.
I can actually understand pointing that because a lot of the guys, especially during the early Image days, it was all about the book looking good, but not about the story. And that's the thing. Like I saw his book, and this is some literature Devil points out. He said, like, if he actually, even though he's a brand new writer still, he avoids a lot of traps a lot of guys who write for the first time do, and that's something I feel like he didn't get enough credit for. Like, you look at all his characters, they all have their own personalities, their own voices, and they all have their things that make them who they are individually. And it's very tricky. And this is not, I guess you could say you could count it as a sort of criticism of the first issue. To me, that first issue read more as Rippaverse #1, whereas ISOM #2 to me was ISOM #1 proper, if you get what I mean. Because
Yes.
everything was happening around someone. Any characters involved, Avery had a reaction to. Whereas ISOM #1 was, there was so much groundwork being laid that I feel like ISOM 2 was a bit easier for him to have more focus to work on these characters. If you involve any other characters outside of him, they had to have a connection to him as part of what's going on in this issue. Whereas when you had the introduction Orphica, none of it was any relation to Avery Silman. They just, they want to show off those characters, which is fine and all, but they didn't have any relation to him. No, that doesn't mean that they can't change online. Of course they could. But as of what we have presently, everything in ISOM #2 revolved around Avery Silman in some capacity, lesser or greater, and I like that.
Yes. Also, One Piece. I read every week. 3 weeks. Then one I rest because Oda likes to watch me suffer, I guess. God damn, at this point,
This is the way of the One Piece fan.
yeah.
Yep.
The manga has never been this good. Know that extra week of just nothing hurts even more because what happened in the last issue was absolutely mind-blowing, and I have to wait. So yeah, thanks for that. And other than that, for some reason I decided to watch garbage while I was working.
No.
Yeah, so I needed something
What'd
that
you
was really
do?
trashy, so I cannot blame
You watched
myself.
Robin Hood, didn't you?
Wars, Seven Deadly Sins,
Oh,
the last 2 seasons.
Oh man!
I have
You could
never
have just set a trash can on fire. That would have been more entertaining, dude.
Dude, I was offended on the behalf of the people that developed the software that they used to animate that garbage. Is what Netflix gave money to a Japanese studio to keep going with a manga that was terrible and make their own One Piece or Dragon Ball-esque series, a shonen series, or just for Netflix, and is absolute garbage to the level that some of the drawing looks like a 5-year-old had a seizure while drawing with crayons. Is bad, absolutely bad. But I don't complain because I needed something just to be in the background that I will not complain if I didn't pay attention because I don't care.
And the story had such potential.
The story had potential. The issue is that, like most Japanese manga, I will be honest, they start with a really interesting premise, but they don't know shit where they are going. So at one point, they need to create the big bat and everything, and they just pull anything out of their asses. And it's an issue that you have been seeing a lot in American comics out of late. It's exactly the same. They just well, it happened before, but when it happened, it was something like the Clone Saga that they decide we are bringing Norman Osborn back because, uh, to be honest,
Don't
Stan Lee
even
had
go, dude. What they're
yeah, Stan
doing.
Lee had a
I've
comment on a reunion.
heard.
That was all. It was everything that triggered the return of Norman Osborn, and it was set on stone. Norman Osborn should not be alive. Well,
Mhm.
anyway, that's an open world that will never close. But you see that they bring a character or they make a character the big evil, and is some shitty development that actually ruins the story. In Seven Deadly Sins, that happened
Mhm.
at the mid of the second season. It has
Mhm.
4 seasons.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a dumpster fire, and it's over. That's what I can say. It's over, with the exception that they are bringing a new season. All the characters
And
are
the
basically
spin-off, don't
dead or
forget that.
retired. Yeah, they are creating new characters to keep the series because Netflix hates the world. So yeah, it has been interesting. I have Isom that I love. I have One Piece that I love, and I had Seven Deadly Sins that makes me remember why life is sad and you should not have puppies. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's a terrible, terrible anime.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right, Clubby, it's your turn. What have you been enjoying in the life of Mr. Clover and Times? I know you've been doing your Legion stuff with J Man.
That's pretty much what I've been reading mostly. Again,
Yeah.
each week we're reviewing all of Legion of Superheroes chronologically. We started about a couple months back. We're going to do everything Silver and Bronze Age from 1958, all their
Oh,
appearances in
wow.
chronological
Ooh.
order to 1989, where there's no Legion that matters after that. So say hi. So I declare, and no one could ever countermand that, even though it's all those fake Legion fans you hear out there. They need to check with me. But so we're having a good time doing that. We do 3 issues a week, but also the Fourth World. We're also reviewing Kirby's Fourth World. That's going to take a little bit less time. We've been doing it. I don't know how many weeks we've been doing it now, but we're close to half through that in chronological order. Of course, that didn't last nearly as long. So that's a lot of fun. So much fun going back, revisiting Kirby's Fourth World. See, with Legion right now, we're still in the Silver Age. Early on, where it's very primitive stages now. Let's put it like that. It's not to where it started really, we're getting close to the Jim Shooter era and some other writers that added some spice to it here and there, but we're still having a lot of fun doing that. So on Kirby's Fourth World, that's a lot of fun. I just got I went to a con last week and met up with a bunch of my buddies that only see like 2 or 3 times a year at the con. And a buddy of mine at Ollie's, I don't know if you have go to Ollie's.
Yep.
He snagged me a Bronze Age Kirby omnibus for $35.
Ooh.
It's a $150 book, and
Oh.
it's got all of his Bronze Age stuff that's not his Fourth World stuff, just or Commanding, because it's another omnibus. And it's got a big mix of all the Kirby stuff in that.
Wait, DC or
The
DC and
DC
Marvel?
stuff.
Okay,
The
just
DC. Oh yeah, Bronze Age. I just said DC.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's after he leaves Marvel.
Well, see, there's a Fourth World omnibus already, and
Yeah.
then there's this is DC stuff, and I think this is Commandy omnibus, but all of his other stuff that he did at DC, I think all of it is in there. I mean, I can't barely lift the sucker. That's just omnibus. They're beautiful. I love them. When you can snag one dirt cheap, they're fantastic to have. But on reading them, you need to be basically RoboCop. You gotta have a friggin' cybernetic arms to read those suckers. They're huge, as you would say, Nick, but they're beautiful to have. Though I love them.
Get one of those book stands that they have on church for the Bible.
Yeah, that's about what
That was good, Pablo.
Yeah, you're right, buddy. That's what you need. But it's great stuff. And again, aside from that, am I reading anything new? Well, of course not. What do you think? I'm getting some of those facsimiles that they've been doing. Those are.
Are you gonna read Conan inevitably?
That's cheating. I got the first issue. I picked it up. I haven't get the 2 or 3 yet. Man, I don't know whether I admire that guy or for ripping off John Buscema the way he did, or think he should be put in prison for like stealing. But I'm glad he did.
Imitation is the sincerest
I
form
know.
of flattery.
It's not like he's the first one to ever do it. I'm kidding him.
Oh,
it's
God,
cool.
no.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Though. I like the first issue,
Okay.
and I might grab the other ones. Let's see. Is there something as far as every now and then I read something new just on a whim, just on our little magical site we have there. Want to hear about something good, and nothing really stands out of late at the moment, but no. So just old stuff. You know me, buddy.
No, hey, nothing wrong with that. That's why we're here. It doesn't matter if it's manga, doesn't matter if it's Bond, Destiny, French, American, old, new. It's just what it's all about, seeing what's going out that we can up here. Hey, I'm enjoying this.
Oh yeah, that's some stuff I've been planning to reread. Coming up soon. I'm trying to remember to start on again.
Mm-hmm. All right, Caster. What have you been enjoying, sir?
Well, let's see. I just finished up watching the last season of Konosuba, which is one of the more popular isekai animes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just finished the movie for that too. So, long story short, guy gets run over by a semi truck and gets revived in another world. Well, the goddess who's going to revive him says he can bring one thing with him, so he picks her.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets stuck in this world and is pretty useless herself. Basically, the guy has a bunch of girls in his party who are ultimately in their own ways useless, like a wizard who can only cast one spell, which is explosion, and then she's like passed out.
Yeah.
And of course the masochist paladin who can't hit a thing, but she wants to be horribly abused.
Mm-hmm.
She actually became a tank, so everybody will hit her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
It is silly. It is really funny. It's worth a watch. Like I said earlier, and also because of the background, I just got my Blu-ray in the mail of Vampire Hunter D, which is like one of the most
zooming in on you.
highly influential like anime around. I mean, just look at that.
Never seen
that
it.
art. Oh,
dude. Okay, it's from the 90s. It was for festival or something like that. So they didn't even dub it on Japanese. They made straight up the voices on English because they could not finish the animation, make the voices on Japanese, and then dub it to release it on the festival. And the voices are crazy over the top and are amazing.
let's see.
Caster, did that come out? Is that the same one that came out in the mid '80s? Because I saw that
Yes.
Vampire Hunter D.
Yes, this is
I
that
saw the
one
first
from the
movie
80s.
or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of dubs and Halloween, I have quite the idea we could do.
Oh, you're not talking about ghost stories, are you?
Yes.
Yes, I love that series.
So, long story short, Vampire Hunter D is a phenomenal series. Just give you the little thing from the back. For 10,000 years, the vampire Count Magnus Lee has stalked the night, sustained by a thirst for blood and human women. Unfortunately for the Count, the woman he has chosen for his next conquest isn't ready to surrender to his inhuman lust. And as the daughter of a werewolf hunter, Doris Lang knows how to save herself by enlisting the aid of the mysterious vampire hunter D. However, while D might be able to defeat the Count and his army of undead, his protection comes with a blood price of his own. Is it a cost that Doris will be willing to pay? Featuring the art of acclaimed designer Yoshitaka Amano, and remastered in high definition. Blah blah blah. Basically, this is one of those like seminal character designs that has gone on to influence so much other stuff. Like Alucard from Castlevania is basically partially inspired based on this design.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, if I remember right, he's also the guy who did some of the super iconic Final Fantasy art.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is some of the like most iconic anime designs. And then, of course, that would also being elves, which is something from the bande dessinée, which beautiful art. Let me see if I can find something just for a little reference here.
Yes, get to it. What's up, Glenn, sir? Long time no see, man. Nice to see you in our chat. It's been a while. Thanks for dropping in. It's always nice when you can see some of the
But
old
seriously,
faces.
though, guys, I'm not joking. We should really do ghost stories if we want to do a Halloween celebration. That anime it's just legendary to such a point that it deserves its own existence to be acknowledged.
We could
You,
talk off air.
you just want Nick and Chloe to watch an anime about a clan of lesbian ghost hunters that also run a drug cartel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh well.
But it
Okay,
was hilarious, though.
this is the context. There was an animation in Japan that was really poor, really terrible, that is translated to ghost stories. When it came to America, the guy that got the rights decided that, you know what, this is shit. We should do something fun with it. So they do a translation that is really over the top comical. So every single one of the characters is absolute bonkers. Like there's this girl that is a born again Christian that used to do drugs and be a lesbian and got to a facility where she got corrected from that.
Yeah, it's one of those things you have to kind of see for yourself.
Yeah, it's
but
Yeah, it was like, imagine a comedy festival on acid.
it's like a scary movie, okay? Every single character on a scary movie sounds serious and interesting until you see the movie and it's just a joke every single time. That's that.
Mostly with a
anime.
lot of Jew jokes, too.
So I
Yeah.
wanted to. Oh, geez, how do I follow
Seriously,
that up?
could you imagine if any other anime got that treatment? Can you imagine Bleach doing that? If it went that way.
Oh, jeez.
Go ahead, Caster.
I just wanted to show off some pretty art.
Yeah, no, show off some
Sorry.
art. It's okay.
Like, yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Let's get googly eyed.
Yep.
Let's get googly eyed.
Some absolutely beautiful art, you know, kind of playing
Mhm.
into a lot of sort of ideas of classic elves. There's a sister series called Dwarves. There's this is a French series that I'm a big fan of.
Okay,
that I highly
okay,
recommend.
cool. I still been meaning to read that French Conan series. I still
Oh,
haven't.
the Cimmerian?
My guy tried ordering a volume 1 of it, and it's a pain to order. So he's gonna try again. So
You might have to just pick it up off Amazon.
Oh, I'll see. I was trying not to have to do that because I did
I
see
know.
that. It was more of, I try to support my guy first. He's my
But-
America first. I support him first before anyone else. But yeah, no, in all seriousness.
But I gotta bounce. I gotta.
No. Oh, you gotta go, Caster? Okay, man. No,
Yeah.
hey, thanks for being here, dude. Have a great night. I'll
All right,
see
buddy.
you soon. I can't wait for next week.
Be good,
So
Cass.
okay,
Good brother.
real quick, I'll lay out what I'm reading. I've been continuing to enjoy Mr. Chichester's run on Daredevil. On issue 303 at the moment. This was after the first arc concluded, which
Wow.
had mostly Lee Weeks on art with one fill-in issue with Ron Garney. Now we're on a 3-part story involving the Owl, and that's been really fun. Lots of action. I love, once again, Chichester's attention to Matt's senses run. He really likes to emphasize on every little thing of what's going on around him, which, you know, that's historical to Daredevil, but I feel like Chichester is definitely emphasizing it a little more. And he definitely I like how he's really going into some of the crazier characters like the Owl and Mr. Fear too. I like that. So it's not like we're just getting the underworld villains like the Kingpin, which I love, and of course I'll always eat up those stories. But I definitely like it when someone's like, "Hey, there's these other cool villains right here. Let's go into that." And yes, this is the part where he's still red suit. So
Okay, cool.
I don't have to worry about that armor. which, like I said, I've always said it. I've never liked the suit. Love the story, just never the suit. But right now, I'm really enjoying Daredevil, and of course, I'm enjoying Conan. As far as new stuff goes, Conan and Big Game have been absolutely lots of fun. Both of those books. And as far as another kind of older book, not that old. Not it's not that old, but I started reading Spider-Man again. ASM. I'm in secret reading ASM 41 through 60. Just saying.
Okay, I just went to
trying to.
John. Are we not missing someone?
Oh, Ironcaster went. He had to go. He had to
Oh,
attend to
okay.
things. Yeah, but
For a
I've
second,
been
I thought he was
enjoying.
just an illusion all this time, and I was in some kind of those weird old movies where you realize
No,
the person you were talking to was never actually real.
oh no, Caster is very much real. But yeah, I'm enjoying ASM. I especially get to admire John Romita Senior's art. I really admire it. So I'm all in on trying to go back to more Spidey because I think early next year we'll get back into some more Spidey. So of course I will always go back to Spider-Man. That's just who I am. It's an extension of my life per se. And Doc Fortune had a question here I want to highlight. And hold on. Says, does anyone know what's going on with Jeff Johns and Earth saying adios to DC and going to independent labels? So what's going on here, Doc? There's no one quick sentence. I hate saying that because most of the time people say that and it's not true, but this is actually true. A lot of the guys like Jeff Johns, Peter Tomasi, Francis Metapole, Brad Walker, Brian Hitch, who all had either moderate success to pretty good success or even very good if you're Jeff Johns, have just what little work they were getting for the last few years because of the awful business decisions being made. They all just decided to go off and do what Jeff Johns is doing, and Jeff Johns is kind of got ahead of the curve. Oh, Jason Fabik is also there too. Jeff Johns has been getting his own comic universe going at Image with his Ghost Machine imprint, except now he's turned it into an all-around thing where he's got all these creators involved. So it's like Image, the roots of Image Comics within Image Comics. It's like a meta thing there, and he's got all these creators involved, and they're doing a big share universe thing. All these creators are gonna be doing their books, and there will be a 2-part thing. So right off the bat, there is already a miniseries called Geiger, which is Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. That was a miniseries that I had a lot of fun reading. And then there's Junkyard Joe, which was earlier this year. Personally, I thought it started off good, but then kind of it was okay. The art, I really like Gary Frank's art in it, but it was just kind of But you can not only pick up Geiger in trade, but not only after you read Geiger in trade, there will be a 2-issue mini series coming out this fall, November, December, on the origin of Geiger. It's called Geiger Ground Zero. And that's going to lead into the Ghost Machine one-shot that's going to have all those creators I named. So this stuff is coming, and it's going to be, looks like it's be coming soon, and at you fast, my friend. So hopefully that answers your question. And well, guys, with that said, I appreciate you all sticking around as long as you have. The majority of you, that's freaking awesome. For those of you who are here for a little bit, thank you as well. Thank you, dears, as well for your super chat earlier. Well, guys, all good things got to come to an end. But next week, we're going to read Monster Comics, and that's going to be fun to talk about. Lots of fun.
But seriously, Nick, we got to get you watching Ghost Stories.
One day we will. One day we will. I'd love to
Don't
do
let
it.
them strong arm you into anything, Nicholas.
You
Well,
too,
it would-
Globby. You'll love it. Trust
That
me.
ain't gonna happen, dude. My own son can't get me to watch One Piece. Man, man.
No, it's not like other anime. Trust me.
Don't matter.
I'll give it a shot.
It's
But
not that.
anyways,
It's not an anime.
no, if you're on it, and that's fine. Monster Comics. No. Guys, we're gonna wrap this show up because A, I gotta go to bed. But B, well, I also gotta get prepared for the next week so I can be on my A game for monster books for next week. But I'll plug in what's going on my side. Once again, me and Mr. MVP Max Von Priestley did a review on Big Game number 4, and it's a half-hour video. First 10, 12 minutes is spoiler free, and after that, it's all spoilers from there. Please check out our video. We had a blast doing it, and I'll have a video out, maybe even 2 next week, maybe even 2. And of course, Toxic Tuesday, I'll be having Army of Darkness. Clobby will be joining the gang as well. I can't wait to have you on. It's been a while since we have you on, so it's gonna be absolutely freaking awesome to have you on as a guest. You're so overdue to come back. So Army of Darkness is the perfect way to come back. And of course, on my Comics Divisions channel, Monday, Thursday night, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Tuesday and Thursday as well. And there's Mars Needs Max. How you doing, man? That's what's going on my channel. So I'm gonna let these gentlemen plug their stuff as we are on the way out the door. Fenrir, plug your plugs.
All right, you all know who I am. I'm Fenrir the Ice Wolf, a writer in training and a future comedian. But I believe I'm already on those parts of town. So go to my YouTube, give me a follow, and maybe I'll do something. Or go to my Twitter and give me a follow there too. I'm more active there, and where I provoke the hornet's nest. Trust me, I have a lot of enemies for a reason because I actually entertain you. So go there, you'll be entertained. Trust me, you won't regret it. All right, hugs and kisses and whatever the hell else, you old pansies. Peace.
All right, Fenrir, thanks for being here. I appreciate it, man.
Always a pleasure, Nick.
All right, and then Pablo.
Hey, tomorrow, Midnight Español, where we will be talking about the crazy stuff that has kept happening. Let's just say the strike has been a meme gold mine like no other, and I don't know why anybody's covering. Maybe because they are also part of SAG-AFTRA and they cannot cover it. I have no idea, but it's actually fun if you read what the hell these people are doing. They are like, hey, we have $150 million to give, so the strike will be over. Okay, you had that much money. That means that you are overpaid. Good to know. Actors are not worth that much money, and I don't know how the fuck they come out with. That's enough for a country. But anyway. Also, there's a couple of videos on the works. Midnight Edge, the videos will keep coming, and interesting things will keep happening on Hollywood because they are crazy and on drugs. Other than that, Nick, brother, today I have been low energy, but as always,
okay,
I have been relaxing here. And
it's a chill stream tonight. It's a chill stream.
I cannot wait for next week. I know Chloe don't like Migniana.
No, don't worry about me, buddy.
Yeah, but it's an interesting style for the monsters. Humans looks like Picasso. If you have seen any Picasso drawing, basically that's how he draw humans. But monsters are really cool exactly because of that aesthetic, and I want to know what you think, and I'm really, really pumped. I love Hellboy, and this one shot is just sadness and old school monsters, and that's Hellboy at its peak. So I hope you enjoy it, everybody. Until next week, it's always fun to be here.
All right, Pablo, thanks for being here, man. Love your energy and contribution to the show, even though today is more of a chill stream. But dude, yeah, Monster Comics, it's gonna be huge. I can't wait to hang out. It's gonna be fun. And guys in the chat, since I don't have any wrenches on duty, I have tagged everyone in the description. So you just click on their names, right click their names, and it's all there. Pablo's solo channel, Midnight Edge Espanol, Fenrir's channel, Ironcaster was here earlier. Go subscribe to these guys. Seriously. And Pablo, I'll see you next week when we talk some monsters.
Dude,
Hell yeah, brother.
you don't have D-Bud wrenched?
To me, I've always made my commitment to Deba that this is his vacation channel.
Okay, well, you should wrench me then, man, in case you need something.
Okay.
If you do, no biggie, but I'm saying if you want to.
Yeah.
Be glad to help.
I appreciate that, Clubby.
All right.
But sir, plug your channel, and yes, like everyone else before Clubby, his name is in the description to right click on and sub this channel. But what you got coming up, sir?
Who, me?
Yo,
There-
that you.
I posted in the chat there if you want to wrench me for just in case.
I will wrench you. I will
in
wrench
case you need
you.
something. All right, buddy. Let's see. Oh, look, I left my fourth world thing avatar up. Oh, okay, I'm not paying attention.
Love it.
Thank you. All right. Well, tomorrow night is Saturday Night Star Trek, as always. I got you, D, but I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, brother. And of course, Raquel and I will be starting season 3 of Star Trek Voyager. 4 episodes reviewed tomorrow night. And then Sunday night, folks. I don't know if any of you out there have not been to my good buddy Mark and Nick's good buddy Mark D with the C's channel.
Woo!
Sunday night, a big show. He couldn't make it last week to Sunday night show. He couldn't do it, so he had to cancel. But this week, he visited New York City Comic Con this past Saturday and took tons and tons of film. If it's anything like last year when he did it, it might take 3 shows to show it all. And he's going to be showing that 10 p.m. Eastern on Sunday Night Geekery on the great Mark D with the C's channel. And if you have not gone to his channel, I think Nick has a subscription. I mean, it has a link in there below or something.
You are wrenched. You are wrenched.
Okay, I'll go try to get one then. I'll go
All
try
right.
to get his page. But yes, if you want to see all the sights and sounds of New York Comic Con, first I got to find Mark's channel. Mark, I got to find it and get it. I'll get it. Join us for that. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, of course, Monday night I'm on with J-Man reviewing Legion, and on my channel, Mark C Comics Talk at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so here is a link to Mark D with the C's channel. If you haven't joined it, if you haven't taken a look at it yet, please do. Please subscribe if you will, and you get to see what went on at New York City Comic Con without ever leaving your house. Thanks to the great Mark D with the C, the engineer man.
All right.
There you go.
Thanks for being here, Clubby.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Absolutely kill on Sunday Night Trek with Raquel.
Thank you, bro.
I will see you several times next week between Need, Comic Shop, and Toxic Tuesday.
Yeah, buddy. I can't wait.
So, and guys, go sub to Mark D with the C. And remember, Clubby's channel is in the description as well.
Thank you.
All right, guys. This is it. This is the part where we say goodbye, good night, and lastly, but not leastly, good fight. Thank you guys for supporting the Comic Shop Show, and thank you for supporting this channel.